Hostile Therapy.
All right, welcome to another episode of Hostile Therapy on Thursday. Like, I seem to be frozen up on the screen.
Yeah, you're a little frozen over there.
Okay, let me see if I can fix that technical difficulty right quick. I might have to take myself off and put myself back in. You can hear me though, all right?
Yeah, we can definitely motherfucker. I'm saying we, like I'm not the only one here.
Okay, hold on. Let me cut my camera off and see if I can come back on. No, let me refresh it right quick.
It didn't do it. Meanwhile, I'm still over here trying to get my whole feng shui together. You know what I'm saying? We can't come on this. Oh shit, what's up, world? I ain't know it was just gonna be me and y'all. So let me tell you, the Dalai Lama is a fucked up individual. We gonna get into all of that shit tonight. It's gonna be fucking crazy. That's the main. That's gonna be my favorite topic. That's what I really want to get into. Y'all know that it's about to be World War III out here in this mug. It's a religious war or a motherfucking spiritual warfare. Just know that there is a war going on outside that we are not safe from. I swear to God, face on the camera in a second, but my hair is just not cooperating. You know what it is when you're trying to get your afro puffs to puff, but you know what I'm saying? They're more fluff than puff, and they're just not working with you. You know what I'm saying? But we're gonna get it going. Who do we have on the show tonight? We got Big Red, we got Lord Trent, Sparky T is gonna be in the motherfucking building. Preezy's gonna be in the motherfucking building. Hopefully you're in the motherfucking building. How are you doing out there? Listening, watching, whatever you're doing. Still messing with my hair. I'm just buying time right now. What we got going down at the bottom of the shit? You are welcome to leave your opinions. Full disclosure, I will definitely read your opinions if I can catch them. If I can't, sorry about that. I'm also going to be looking for motherfucking. Who is this texting me right now? I'm the most unprofessional host this show has ever had. Let's see. Accountability is not the same as an apology. No, it's not. No, it's not. And that's all I have to say on that. We're not even going to have to medicate or motherfucking leave that. Let's see. She likes him more than he likes her. Mm. Do I want to give all away? Do I want to give away my mediates and shit? I don't think I do. Damn, that nigga Red must have had to connect his reset his damn Wi-Fi. I'm really in here holding it down, gun on my waist, straight face. Nobody. I swear to God, I'm gonna cut my camera on. Just let me finish playing with my damn hair. We gonna be in there. You know, I mean, give you something to look at. I got my joints. I got my bowl. Damn, I ain't got my incense. You know what I'm saying? Gotta get that shit craculating, percolating on the floor in this dancery. We got you open, I got open, so you got to dance for me. This is what happens when I don't have anything prepared to keep the show going. When Big Red is not here, did not count on him being gone this long. So, what else is in the news? Full disclosure, I kind of hate celebrities now. I hate fame. I hate the media and everything. So I try not to keep up with too much because it's really everything that we see in our headlines, these trending topics, they're really just geared to distract us, trigger us, and stop us from paying attention to what is really important. And that's ourselves. That's the fact that they murdered the fucking creator of the Cash App. They're murdering a whole bunch of cryptocurrency creators, and they're implementing pretty much Fed Cash App in the fucking summer. Oh, what's up, Big Red?
I think I'm on.
Welcome back. Welcome back. We're not canceled.
A short amount of time. You sure?
We're not canceled. We're still in business. And I'm almost done fucking around with my hair.
What's going on with your hair?
Nothing. I got one of them little sponges. You know what I'm saying? Like I picked my
Oh,
hair out, but now I need it to get back to like the. Now I need to get it back to puffy form.
I got you. I gotta get my mic back on now. Mic ain't coming on like it's supposed to. It's coming through
But
slow.
word, I was just giving the people a rundown of what we're going to be going over in tonight's show and just giving them some other stuff that was going through my mind, like how they're killing all the creators of cryptocurrency. You saw they said the creator of Cash App died mysteriously or some shit. They didn't give I don't know if they gave an actual reason yet. I got to look more into it. But yeah, they've been killing off a lot of creators of cryptocurrency as we move closer and closer to the federal government trying to control our paychecks.
I saw somebody that was a close friend of him was arrested, I think today, that they said had a part of him getting stabbed and killed.
Yeah, he was probably in on it. I mean, that's the government's MO. Get somebody on the inside to make it look like an inside job. That's how they got Malcolm.
Yeah, I heard quite a few other people saying that too. What is
And then I saw some shit. Fucking explode. An explosion in I can't remember where the fuck Iowa or some shit somewhere where they do a lot of farming. An explosion happened next to a cattle farm that claimed the lives of 18,000 cows. Now, how explosions happen near fucking cattle farms, I don't fucking know. But 18th, like they've already been fucking up the water for a long time, oil spills, BP, and all that shit. More recently, oh damn, you out again. As y'all know, more recently they've been fucking up our crops. Bless you. My girlfriend sneezed. Um, yeah, but they've been fucking up our crops. They have been fucking up and I don't want to just say fucking up like I don't know it exactly what they're doing. It's chemically tampering with our food, like motherfucking. Let me just keep saying motherfucking until I get the exact word. This is why I should have came with the goddamn article. There's a war going on outside we ain't safe from. Tampering with our food and tampering with our water is tampering with the way with what we consume because we're human we're creatures that consume things in order to continue. Our bodies are 60-70% water and our minds tell us that we need food to eat. So I mean it's not the food that we've been eating is already super chemically altered anyway. If you're stopping at McDonald's, regardless if you're heating up a microwavable dish, hell, even if you're going out to eat at a fucking restaurant and you think that steak that's coming out is like USDA prime, that shit was frozen for about like 3 weeks before grill for your fat ass. I'm sorry, I don't mean to body shame. I'm not trying to body shame anybody, but we got to pay more attention to what we're drinking. We got to pay more attention to what we're eating, and we have to start learning to do these things for ourselves. You know, we can't depend on the grocery stores to give us healthy food all the time. I don't know if you know this or not, but when you put your food into that plastic bag that you get at the grocery store, you leave it in the plastic that it comes in. That actually, like, there's chemicals in that bag that react with the food negatively, and it causes your food to spoil a lot quicker than it would if it was in a glass jar of some sort, a mason jar, one of the ones with the little twisty cap that you could twist off on the side so it doesn't explode in your fucking face. Hey, welcome back, Big Grade again. We not canceled. Nobody has stormed the show and taken us out.
All right, Cash App. Yeah, that's the last thing I heard. So yeah, be careful about talking about that cryptocurrency, man. That I have heard about some conspiracy theories about that. That the guy that was a friend of his that got arrested today could be just a fall guy, as you were saying. World banks are coming together to make one type of currency for everybody, and they wouldn't want anything like cryptocurrency to become very successful, creating another kind of currency that we can fall back away from. As we all know, the U.S. dollar is losing value by the day.
Hell, fuck you. Oh yeah, that. I can't believe I glossed over that. The U.S. dollar is about to become fucking worthless. It's about to become the Mexican peso.
I'll mention a story about that. I'm trying to think, who did I tell that about? I think I told that to somebody the other night. Couple years ago, let's say 2019,
Wow.
before the pandemic hit, I almost got into a venture of trying to get my own ATM, or ATMs plural. And
That's a big move.
I thought it would be a pretty good venture to get some extra income or whatever. And I kept doing research on it, trying to see, like, if I put a ATM here that, a lot of people, a lot of traffic are going through, I can make a lot of money. And then I go get another ATM, then another ATM, I can make a lot of money. And I ended up backing out of it at the last minute after doing a little bit of research, seeing by like maybe about the year 2030, something early 2030s, 2032, let's just say that the dollar or just getting change out of ATM, a couple dollars here, $20 here, it was going to be obsolete. People will go use their cards to pay for stuff, or use Apple Pay or Android Pay or whatever. People weren't going to use cash like that. And I don't know if it's connected, but of course, 2020 happened, and we have a huge coin shortage that hasn't gone away yet. Anytime you go to a place now, they got a sign say we only take exact change, or we take debit or credit.
Which is weird. I would never suspect that coins is what we be running out of in 2020, 2023. That's weird. It's weird. I don't like it. I don't like none of this shit that's going on. And none of it is a coincidence.
Yeah. Now I saw that in 2019. That's before, like I said, the pandemic hit and stuff like that. But now if you want to connect the dots, and I don't know if that has anything to do with anything, but that's why I backed out, because I saw it was not going to be a fledgling thing to use in probably 5 to 10 years. I said, that's not going to, I don't think that's going to be a money-making venture to go into. Maybe it would have been money-making within the first few years, but long term, I don't think that was something I would want to stick with. The people who are making money with it now, I'm not telling people to get away from it. I'm not a financial guru, but I just did find that funny looking at that in 2019 and stuff that's happening now. Eventually, people are going to have to use everything digitally eventually.
Yeah, and that just gives it a easier access to be manipulated by a hacker.
Yeah.
Or just for the government to be into it. Like, they tired of y'all having money underneath your mattress and shit. They tired of you Negroes moving into your neighborhood and paying cash for everything.
that part, which is probably why I'm not sure if that's true or not. It's probably why they care so much that when you start making payments on a car and stuff, you would think that if you could just pay it straight out, that'd be a good thing for your credit. But no, they want you to stretch it out year by year, month by month. And that keeps your credit good, because they can literally keep your money coming into the banks, coming into whatever place you're paying these payments on. You're constantly in debt. They like you in debt. That's how you get good credit. Yeah, you froze up on me now. Usually when you say something poignant, then you freeze up. I say something, you freeze up.
No, right. We just take turns freezing up.
They knew what I was going to say before the show started. So they killed my mic and my video. Well, I was trying to wait for the other gang to get in here, but we're going to go ahead and get started. I don't know if you told them anything about what we're talking about tonight.
Nothing about nothing.
Okay. We're going to talk about the old guard and the new guard when it comes to disciplining children. We like to try to evolve as a society and become better at things that maybe generations past didn't know about, and try to become better and raise better children, raise better adults, which is basically what you are doing. You start off early to try to raise your child into a good, socially functioning adult. And of course, as most people in the Black community, especially the Southern Black community, hold on, let me add Sparky right quick. Of course, in the Black community and in the South, we know about a discipline that they call whoopings,
Yeah.
And there is actually a difference that we also know between the Black community and the white community. We say whoopings. It's not the same as spankings. Those two are not the same. Whoopings last for a good amount of time. Whoopings can last what feels like an hour. Spankings is like a split-second response. But they have gotten to a point now where people have come and done research and said spankings, not whippings, and some people use them interchangeably, but that spankings cause children to become more aggressive. They don't solve problems as easier as people who don't have spankings or don't have whippings per se. I've been, my statement on it has been that there's a such time where you have to stop spankings, an age where you need to stop spankings. I think spankings have their place early in age where words, you can't use your words to communicate everything. And it also is like a last ditch effort to discipline a child. It's not something I would say go to first, you know. If you could talk to the child, that's fine. But when the child, I don't know, 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever, they don't understand everything that you're trying to teach them. I think eventually you do get to that. But knee-jerk reaction, a lot of parents do go for spankings. I don't think that should be the reaction every time a child does something wrong, because they will learn that, okay, I'm going to get punished for this in a violent way. So what I'm going to try to do is just avoid it, you know, and spankings without a lesson being taught to the child, I think serves no purpose. Okay, hold on, Preezy. Hey, what's up, Preezy? Sparky T. I mean to say hey to you too. Sorry about that.
That's all right. Hey.
What's going on, everybody?
We're doing good. We're doing good.
Good.
We're talking about corporal punishment or spankings to young children. Is it an outdated act? How we discipline children now, or does it still have a purpose in society? And people have new ways of disciplining children. You know, I know if y'all have heard of timeout. I don't, you know, I think it works in some instances. I don't think every time that does anything. Some people have gone to, this is a new one, and this because of the social media age, shaming children, recording, doing something to their child, yelling to their child, spanking their child, cutting their child's hair off or whatever, or, you know, just doing something to shame the child on social media. That seems to be the new way people are disciplining children. I have a video of that, actually, which I'm about to play, and I'm going to get you guys' opinion on that video and how to discipline children, period, nowadays. What's your opinion? What's about the new age and the old age? Should the new age take over completely, or do some remnants of the old age of discipline still should be around? Okay, let me pull this video up quick. See what we got. Okay.
It's over.
I didn't do that.
It's over.
I didn't do that.
Make it worse. There you go. Right. It's over now. It's gone. It's gone now. It's over.
I need God.
Was he about to say I need God?
Or
Gary?
I don't know.
What does this child need?
I'm gonna play the video one more time. Hold up.
I don't know. We're gonna catch up.
It's over.
I didn't do that.
It's over.
I didn't do that.
Make it worse. There you go. Right. It's over now. It's gone. It's gone now. It's over.
I need God.
Okay.
It's terrible.
Okay, let's see. All right. So, based off of that, okay, again, we're going to talk about the old way and the new way. There seems to be a new way of people disciplining children. And we're going to go around the room. Hopefully, LT, you get to see this thing. This thing works. Sparky got to see it earlier. Hopefully, the video plays okay. So, usually we do a time, 2 minutes. You guys get to hear it in the background. I'm trying to have a video played up here where you can actually see the time on the screen. If it does not play well, then we'll go to the audio. Let's see. Well, let me not go to it yet. Let me ask the question. LT, I'm gonna let you go first. First, tell us what you think about that way of disciplining that child in that video. And then after that, tell us what you think about the new way of discipline, how you would do it versus the old way, what you wouldn't do, or if you still incorporate some of those things from the past. And let me you'll see the timer up here. You'll know when to go.
I'm saying
Hopefully
a
it
lot
works.
now since last week.
Yeah. If it works fine, then we'll keep it up here. If it doesn't, then we'll do the audio version. All right, here we go.
You ready? Go!
Okay.
That shit was a tough listen. God damn, that little boy sounded like he was getting R-worded. And I guess that'll be in the next story about the Dalai Lama or wherever we get to his ass. But yeah, I definitely disagree with that form of discipline, because are you showing it to his friends, or are you just showing it to the, like, I always thought parents that do that, you just want to, you want validation from other parents or from other people. Like, you want to look like a parent that doesn't allow your child to fuck up in school. But what lesson are you actually teaching them in that? Like, you're just embarrassing them. That like, honestly, that would cause me to act out more, because now I'm going to school and all my friends are making fun of me because they saw the video that my mom put up. Like, that's not teaching me a lesson, and it's honestly spurring that child to. It's probably going to cause some resentment later on, because again, we want to protect our children from so much. We don't like when they're sexualized, but you're putting them on the internet so that you can humiliate them. It's like we really don't see children as people. We see them as people that we can, we see them as things and possessions that we can control, and they should do what we tell them to. And when we publicly humiliate them like that, it's showing that we don't have any respect for their development. We don't have any patience for their development. We don't have any patience and we don't have the emotional intelligence to actually respond in a way that correct their behavior. We immediately think humiliation and pain is going to fix behavior, and that comes from something we were talking about a lot last week, just fear. You want them to be afraid of being made fun of. You want them to be afraid of the physical pain that you might inflict, without actually sitting down and teaching them a lesson. It's lazy to me. It's lazy. You got fire now? Oh,
yeah.
Why
What?
didn't you tell me we had fire? I would have took it all the way. I would have had it. Oh, damn. I would have said my catchphrase or some shit.
That's what you go do every time now?
Yes, that I know. Yes. I gotta get a catchphrase or some shit.
That's why I let it play, because I wanted to see how it actually was going to end this time. Yeah.
Damn. Shit.
No more bell. Okay. All right. Sparky T, what do you have to say about it? Let me go ahead and put the time up here and give your opinion about the video. And don't worry if you don't have enough time to say everything. We're going to come back around. But if you can give your opinion about the video and how that was done, and some of the new way of discipline children versus the old way, just give your opinion about that. Okay.
You ready? Go!
She paused. Oh, you good?
No,
Are you there?
I was getting numbers to come up to count me down.
Oh, okay. I'll put it back up then.
Go!
All right, go ahead.
Oh, okay. I didn't know you were putting it back up. That's what I was getting on. I'm sorry. But I think the video with that's not what we just looked at that earlier. I'm sorry. The video with the little boy getting his hair cut off, that statement was a bit much. But I mean, it's a kid getting his hair cut off. They keep them from coming in with the clippers, all of that kind of stuff. His parent probably wasn't serious when they told him he was going to get his hair cut. They may have been trying to scare him or whatever. It got mixed feelings about, disciplining your child. Of course, I've disciplined my child. Both of them got spankings. So that's here nor there. They're grown now. But I was thinking about it more deeply the other day about the things with the spankings. And I was like, well, wow, how is it too much different than the slave master whipping a slave every time they didn't do something that they wanted them to do? It's like that practice that we have. It's like we brought it from that time. Our ancestors used to get beat, whips, all of that, whenever they didn't do whatever their owner, the overseer, person that was over them told them to do, they would get these lashes. And so now it seems like it kind of correlates, or it seems like we're doing the same thing to our children, and that don't seem quite appropriate. Now, I did say that with the fact that both of my grown children got spankings, so I've evolved a little bit, I think maybe, or my thinking about it has changed a little bit. But I used to try to do some alternate stuff too, in addition to spankings. I did cut hair, but it wasn't on a video. But I did cut his hair, and the reason I cut his hair was because it seemed like as longer his hair got, the worse the behavior got in school. So when he had regular days, or he had regular haircut, it was clean cut. This is when we had many problems. But if the longer the hair got, it seemed like the behavior got worse. So the hair had to go.
Okay. All right. Let's see. Preezy.
All right.
Okay, I'm gonna let you go. I'm gonna go ahead and hit this video and you give us your opinion about the matter.
Okay.
Are you ready? Go!
I don't believe in shaming and humiliating a child. I think that's emotionally and verbally abusive. Okay, obviously he was acting up in school, and the parents probably said, if you don't stop, we're gonna cut your hair, because obviously he loved that. Filming it was very disrespectful. Something like that can be traumatizing to a child, and shaming a child is definitely a no-no, because it brings these emotions to the children, and like you're putting something on social media that everybody can see. Now, if they did that without the video, then hey, listen, I told you not to act up, and if you act up, I'm gonna cut your hair. I mean, whatever the punishment is, take things that they like. I mean, he's young, and some parents may feel that that's not effective, but people still do timeouts. I'm sure people still spank their kids, but to cut his hair and humiliate him like that, you only make matters worse. It's very hurtful. You don't know what that could do to their self-esteem. And it's just not right. You don't shame a child. You don't do that. And cutting his hair, like I said, is one thing, but to post it, that was totally wrong. And the parents were totally wrong for that. Punish him, spank his hand, whatever. Put him on timeout. Obviously, these spankings are not helping the kids. And take away what they like, their games, their iPads. But that is a no-no. Okay, I'm a little nervous about this explosion thing.
Well, I need to turn it down. I didn't go back to the bell.
No, this is cute. It's cute. 2023 is cute.
Imagine if I didn't put if I just did the audio and you just had to wait and hear it.
We be jumping out of seats. Oh, no.
That would make me time my shit better. I'd be Busta Rhymes now.
Right. Okay. Let me give my opinion on this.
Are you ready? Go!
Okay. Y'all make some good points on here. I do think shaming is one of the worst things you do. I think if you try to punish anybody, especially children, you punish, you condemn the act. You don't punish and condemn the child. And that's, I think, where low self-esteem can come from. You tell them why the act should be punished, and you tell them they are not a horrible person, but the act is. And this is how you, I think, eventually raise them to be a fledgling, functioning adult eventually when they get there. But them cutting his hair, I don't really have too much of a problem. Just filming it, cutting his hair, learning that there are consequences when you make a certain act. I don't know. I think he was misbehaving in school. That's from what I read on a post. He was misbehaving. He was acting up, and it wasn't the first time they told him this, and he just wouldn't change. And so they cut his hair eventually, and that was something he really loved over anything. And maybe because of this, he'll stop doing it. I don't see how that's much different than when you become an adult and you commit to the act and they keep telling you that's illegal or you're not supposed to do, and they put you in another version of timeout called prison. If you rob somebody, you kill somebody, you assault somebody, which he could have been assaulting somebody, could have been fighting another kid, they would put you in prison. That's another form of timeout. And they got even worse forms of that. They put you in the hole. That's another form of timeout. They don't put you in a corner. They put you in a box. So, but also with that, I'll say that's also a form of fear. So if that's one way to put fear into people, is it a problem of putting fear in your child? Because they're going to do that as an adult. Acts like that when you become an adult. So is fear all the way terrible to instill in a child? Or is there a certain level of fear you should put in a child? Because you're going to have fear instilled in you as an adult if you commit certain acts.
I was actually just watching the Tupac Lost Vibe interview where he was explaining, and his prison interview where he was saying fear is stronger than love. Like that when it came down to it, it was fear that got him hit 5 times. And I do think in the human mind, there is an element to we need fear in order to teach an effective lesson. That's what fairy tales are at the end of the day. And who are fairy tales for? Kids. But they always have a frightful message at the end, like Hansel and Gretel. Don't trust strangers giving you candy. Don't do that shit. Motherfucking Little Red Riding Hood.
I was about to say that.
Don't be so quick to believe everybody. If it looked like a duck if it looks like a wolf and it talks like a wolf, it's not your fucking grandma. You know what I'm saying? So there is an element of fear that goes into how we have been teaching children. I don't think that we need to. I think there needs to be an element of consequence that we teach children. I strongly believe in if a child is misbehaving in school, there must be something going on at home, correct? Like what's happening at home. Instead of punishing them outright, more needs to be examined. And I think we all disagree with the humiliation aspect because of going with Sparky said, this is something we picked up from slavery. This is damn near buck breaking, not quite as that, but just listening to that child's screams of agony. Like I felt like initially he was being a little dramatic, but if this is something he truly didn't want to happen, that's like that's twisting his fucking arm back. Like he's been growing this hair as Black people, as my woman was just pointing out to me. As Black people, our hair is our divine connection along with our melanin. So you're cutting off my strength. That's what they did to Samson.
Mm-hmm. Did you freeze up there, LT?
They did to Samson.
That's a cute pose, though.
I know, right? It's like he did it on purpose.
Yeah, he probably.
He must have been getting ready to say something good. Y'all know how it does.
Okay. Well, to LT's point and Sparky point that she brought up earlier, being linked to slavery, that's where we can put the fear aspect in there, because fear is instilled in people when you want to control them ultimately. And do you want to control your kids all your life? Do you want them to where they be able to think for themselves? Yeah. You want them
I don't think you want to control your kids all their lives, but I think me personally as a parent, I think you need it's a healthy little bit of fear.
I got you.
I mean, I'm grown. I'm way grown. I still got a healthy little bit of fear of my mama. I got kids, but you know what I'm saying? It's a certain level of respect that I give her, but blah, blah, blah. I'm going to, but I know that, you know what I'm saying? I'm not truly fearful like that, but that's where it came from. I don't think that there's anything wrong with kids thinking that if I do this wrong, my parents are going to give me a consequence.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing wrong with that. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. They need to know that there's a reaction to every action. Everything that you do in life, there is a reaction to it. So we just let our kids go, and there's consequences. There's no type of anything to it. Then they're going to think that that's what you do out in the world. And that way you're not setting them up for success. You do not prepare your kid, but the fact that there's consequences when you do something wrong, as soon as they go out here on their own, they're going to be shook, because when all the consequences come, they're not going to have dealt with that. They're not going to be aware. You can set them up to fail. if you don't give him some type of consequence. I'm not saying it's got to be spankings or whatever. It can be other things, but like you all said, you take away things that they really like. Well, it seemed like he really liked his hair,
Right.
so that might have been a good thing to take. You know,
Right.
it took him years to grow that, and he learned the consequence that in a second it can be taken away from one bad decision that you made or whatever. Like that's a real life situation. So maybe he'll think about it more next time when he go to do something wrong. He growing that hair a little bit longer. He might be like, well, I might not do that because they cut my hair last time. Like it might really teach him a lesson if it really was important to him. I mean, it seemed, a little bit far, but I'm sure that
I
probably
don't
wasn't the first
disagree
thing
at
that
all.
they
There
reached for.
definitely needs to be consequence
He
in
said
a
he
person's
didn't.
But I
negative
don't
action.
think that shaming him was good though. Now that I do not
Yeah,
agree
that's
with.
the only
I
we
mean,
all agree on that. Like that's the
yeah,
only
one of my
aspect
sons,
of
I
like
used to make him hold books. I didn't want to whoop him, so he had to hold books.
because
Hold
there's
the
a
books, and
psychological
don't let him
aspect.
drop.
His
Yeah, like
friends,
you gotta.
people. I'm sorry. Go ahead. I keep cutting you off. My
No,
bad.
you good. No, you're good. I think we're saying basically the same thing. That
Pretty much.
humiliating him is wrong. You
Yeah.
don't need to humiliate him to get him to do what you want to do. Now you're going to start turning it to resentment. But you
Like you're
definitely need to
exposing
give
him
the
in a real
consequence.
vulnerable moment to the world.
Yeah, yeah.
Like that's like I'm glad I grew up in the time that I did to where like that's like I got my ass beat in grocery stores plenty of times because I wanted to
But it
go to
wasn't
the
nobody
toy.
taking a video of it though.
No one. There was no. Oh shit!
Yeah.
Nigga getting his ass beat. Hey.
Let me add this to it then, because this also, I've thought about this question before, where people say, well, take away, his toy, or take away his PlayStation. What do poor people do when you ain't got nothing to take away?
Cut their hair.
You can't go outside.
Make them right. Make them right. Like sometimes you gotta write. I will not whatever X amount of
watch
times.
TV.
You might take
them
away
read
their
the
privileges.
newspaper.
You make them read some more.
Clean
You
the
can't
house.
go outside.
Increase their
They
chores.
gotta clean. You know what I'm saying? Hey, you can make them kneel on rice. There's things you can do. You can make them kneel on rice. You can make them hold books. You can make them do a lot of things that, you know what I'm saying? That if you didn't have money, you can still give consequences.
Are you trying to punish them or teach them how to be samurai?
I've never heard about it before. You might as well just make them step on Legos while they at
Snatch
it.
the spot from my
Yeah,
hand,
well,
but it's
Lift up
another 3
knees.
weeks.
That's creative. All right.
Yeah, you gotta but think about it. If you didn't have
That's a
funds
good
to
food,
take
though.
away
You can't.
the PlayStation and stuff, you can put it in the bag. Maybe you
Okay.
can cook it after. You can put it in the bag, and they gotta be directly on the floor. But if you didn't have the funds, there are still things that you could do to make sure that your kid had consequences, whether you are
Make them
rich or
niggas do
poor.
like
There's
actual
something
community
that your
service.
kids like, huh?
Make them do community service. Make them like do
Yeah.
stuff in the community.
Yep. I hope the community service though just isn't a punishment because
It shouldn't be a
address it
punishment.
when
but
we do it, but that's how it is usually. So a lot of
it
times
is-
when people think about volunteering or giving back to the community, they don't look at it as a joyous thing or something that could bring blessings to their lives. Because as we were kind of exposed to it early, it's community service. It's a consequence of something somebody's done bad. They got to go help somebody else.
You're right. It
That
shouldn't
should be
be a
the only
consequence.
time we
That
help
should just
other
be that.
people. Yeah, but I get what you're saying though. But yeah, I just think that we should encourage.
Have them do some
the
work in
community
their
service
community.
aspect.
You know what I'm saying? Take
Yeah.
time away on
Have
their
them pull the
weekends.
weeds out the garden.
Boom.
Something.
Have them pull your neighbor's
Yeah.
weeds out the garden. The old lady up the street who
like
ain't got
that,
no one to do it
yeah.
for. Boom.
Yep.
I
Something
read
like that.
something
You can
today
get
about
creative.
that. As far as spanking is concerned, there was a small study. It's not a huge wide study yet, because I've always said that excessively spanking somebody without any lesson worded verbally, by the parent is a waste of time. Spanking somebody with a lesson behind it is another thing. So I looked at this study that said if you were to spank maybe once or twice a month with the lesson being taught behind it, it really didn't have that big of a negative change to the kids. And also spanking with just a hand and not another object such as an iron cord or a hanger or a stick or whatever, that's when the negative connotation started being added to the kid. But if you're just spanking with a hand, maybe once or twice a month, that's fine. But when you did any more than that, then it started losing its effectiveness. So, and that's what I've always kind of been saying. I'm like, you can't just teach with violence. You know how people get taught with violence is called boxing, and they just get trained to get ready for another fight. You got to teach a lesson to go with that. If you want to call it violence, I don't want to call it violence, but discipline. You got to have a lesson that's being taught with that. You know, you can't just spank somebody and just expect them to learn the lesson. I think it's helpful in the earlier ages, but when they are able to understand life lessons as they get older, elementary, middle school, and high school, you know, because we know kids when they become teenagers in high school. Hell, me, the guy spankings in high school. You're almost an adult then. It's almost too late. You know, I saw people that started late. Yeah, I know some people that started late spanking, and when they were in high school, I'm like, it's too late now. They're not going to learn nothing from that, except to just try to avoid getting hit. It's too late now. You got to be able to talk to them at some point, but you can't talk to a 2-year-old the same way you talk to a 15-year-old. So I think you have to adapt as time moves along. You can't do the same thing at 5 that you can do at 13. I think that's something that many people have to understand. But I think what happens is, and that's one thing I've always heard parents in the new generation say, don't spank out of anger. If you spank out of anger, then you're only doing it because you're just upset. You're not doing it to teach them a lesson.
I agree with that. My kids got several passes, quite a few passes, probably back in the day. Because if I was really mad about it, I'm not gonna whoop you. I'm gonna just give you a pass. So we gonna talk about it, but I'm not gonna, because I don't want to take my anger out on you. I agree with that.
And then there are parents that are
That's true too.
they're excessive with it. You know, they overdo it. There was a lot of women came to my jail, and they were in there beating their kids to death. You know.
Yeah.
It's rough.
Wow. It is.
And I like what she says. You have to adapt to each child because every child doesn't react the same to every form of behavior change. So yeah, you do have to adapt to child.
Oh yeah. Hey, Silver 26.
I kind of think also, and I could be wrong, I'm just diagnosing it, I could be totally wrong. That kid on the video, he might have been a little autistic. Might have been. I could be wrong.
I'm gonna have to watch it again.
I'm just going by how he was crying about it, and I could be stereotyping by it, but he just seemed like he was a little autistic.
He loved that hairstyle. He was the man.
I think
he probably was the man in school with that hairstyle. That's
Right.
what
He had it like little dyed at the ends. I know he loved it, man.
Yeah.
Looked like it might have been a couple wicks, like he had some couple of them together. And
Yeah, it's something that you tie. It's been with him so long, probably it's a part of his identity.
He treasured that hair.
Yeah. But that's what happens in real life, though. When you become an adult and you keep doing things, they take away your freedom. They take away your home,
your name, and give you a number real quick. Like definitely, yeah, consequences happen. It's just oh god, I just know like when he grows up, yeah, that's gonna be something that I would always have a problem with my parents. Is like, why did you expose that moment of vulnerability for me? Like, why did you he's literally crying, begging for God, like begging a person that he doesn't know. This random, and then you in a barbershop full of random motherfuckers. There's a dude in the barbershop always that is a recovering drug addict, and he in there giving you a lecture because your mama came in here upset. And it's the juxtaposed position of being a child and just having to take the things that are done to you. It's like we really don't give them a voice. You know what I'm saying? And the voice that I heard was excruciating. It was painful. That little boy, I don't know if he was autistic or not, but just like she said, every child has to be approached differently. Again, we don't know exactly what happened at school, and consequences are always warranted anytime it's affecting your progression as a person, as a young person. But again, handling it should never be done out of anger. It should never be done and it should never be done for attention. Like that's honestly the biggest problem. Really the only problem with this going on is that now we're just punishing our kids for attention. It's sick. It's
or like somebody said, validation too.
Yeah, like look at the way I parent. My kid will never fuck up.
Stop posting everything. It's ridiculous.
It's like you posting it because he fucked up. So it's not.
I was immature to post that. Very immature as a parent. Shouldn't have did that.
Let me ask this question. Now, again, as time has passed and people saying they're learning different ways to punish a child, why do we seem now more than ever are having, I'm not saying it's us, but we're having kids going to shoot up schools if the punishment, the new age punishment, seems to be working? Why do we and we have more avenues of therapy than we ever had 50 and 60, 70 years ago, but there was no school shootings like this in the 80s, in the 70s, and there were access to guns. There were access to guns back then too. There were access to guns in the 90s, but we
easier access to guns and lower security.
Exactly.
Well, you
It was real easy to get onto a school.
Back in the day,
We were tough for kids in the 70s. Every little thing in the 70s didn't either make you cry or somebody was hurting your feelings or you was getting bullied or this and this and that. This is kind of like how now everybody gets a trophy for participation.
Ooh,
It's like
bullying was more accepted.
when we
There
were
was more bullying.
kids. Yeah, what I'm saying, when we were kids, it wasn't like that. You know what I'm saying? Now every time somebody, makes a peep or has a problem, somebody's running to validate or put a label on it, and sometimes I think that people read more into it instead of either trying to get over it, get past it. Now we've given it a diagnosis and there's something for them to act out, as opposed to us trying to work past some things. Sometimes I think we can make more issue with all of the different avenues that we have. Now they say sometimes less is more. Or when you're cooking food, they tell you need to, audit yourself or, take some of it off because you're putting too many things in there. Now you just don't too much in there. It's like that, I think.
I think a lot of parents are afraid to hit their kids too. They're teaching the kids, call 911, 311, whatever, 111. The kids know now to do it. And parents feel nervous now to hit their child. Because back in the days, your neighbors yelled at you and stuff like that. So now you can't do certain things because parents are actually killing their kids. And so now they're teaching their kids, they're teaching the children in school, if your parent do this or put their hands on you, you call 911 or you do this. So no, parents can't really put their hands on their children because they're afraid that there's some consequences behind it. But back in the days, we got popped. And even the teachers was a little rough with you, grab you by your arm or whatever, and there was nothing to report. But now you try that. You can't do that now because they know that
the kids run.
Right.
Yeah.
So I think the kids know, well, you can't put your hands on me. You can't touch me.
Shit, some of these, especially our kids, like these kids fight back. Now you see the videos of these kids swinging on teachers because they probably either deal with a harsh environment just in their neighborhood or a harsh environment directly in their home. So when they get to another quote unquote authority figure, especially one that they don't have to respect, like a mother or a father or a grandma or a grandfather, you don't have to, show the same amount of respect to that. Just speaking for today's era, back when teachers were allowed to beat kids, it didn't happen as much. But kids now, because they're exposed to more violence, it's literally just shoved down our throats. We're always seeing more and more school shootings. I was 9 years old when 9/11 happened. Our school, our elementary school used to have us watch Good Morning America every single day because, they wanted us updated on what was happening in the world. And one day we just so happened to be watching it when 2 planes flew into it. So we're growing up in an era where kids are desensitized towards violence. We're dealing with violence. We're honestly inviting violence sometimes. We love catching fight videos on our phone. It's honestly a basic human aspect that we just love fucking violence. And kids nowadays are growing up a lot quicker. They're exposed to things a lot quicker, and they're a lot more willing to snap than they were previously. And it does come from sensitivity. It does come from them being bullied and being pushed to their breaking point in school. But it also comes from them feeling like they can't fight back at home. Like they can't fight back in their neighborhood.
Yeah, I'm gonna touch on this point. Silmon 26 said, we no longer have the village involved, where if you want to call it fear, whatever, I could go down the street and if I messed up at aunt's or grandparents or whatever, uncle's house, I would get the same punishment that I would get at home twice that day. I get it from them, and they'll tell my parents what I did, and I get it at home too. So there's no longer that fear. Or, matter of fact, we'll take it back. The teacher, of course, there was corporal punishment, I'm telling my age a little bit, but yeah, there was corporal punishment in my school. The teacher could get you, the principal could get you, then the parents could get you. And you had a sense of fear to not do what you wanted to do because you know you could get it 3-4 ways from Sunday.
Miss Strickland lay a finger on me. I'm telling my mom.
Yeah, that definitely wouldn't happen now. If now, and I understand it. I understand it as a parent. You don't want a stranger touching your child because there are horror stories that come with that too. But what we've given up to is that natural fear that any adult could give if you did something wrong. Now,
also, you have to take into account more and more of these teachers is fucking kids too.
I don't know if it's more than ever. I mean, because it happened back in the day too, but now it's been instilled now that is that like it is happening more than ever. Maybe because the teachers are getting younger too. It seems like because it seems like the teachers are no longer
with the aunties and the uncles. You know, being able to go up the street and get disciplined by the village. Aunties and uncles are a lot younger than they used to be. Grandmas and grandpas are a lot younger than they used to. I'm
it's true though.
Uncle of like 4 people, 5. I do not need to smack nobody's child. Like,
I don't know if that's necessarily true because people were having kids much younger and having a lot more kids back in the day.
I blame 16 and pregnant.
Yeah, they made a TV show about it, but I think people were getting pregnant much younger. They were getting married much younger, also too. Back in the day,
the woman would always be young. The man, as we know, men are always told wait. I was just scrolling by a post about fucking J. Howard Marshall and Anna Nicole Smith today.
Oh, that's
yeah.
Oh, that's a bad example there.
That's
we know what that was for.
We know what
that was for security, I guess.
Trim spy, baby.
Ugh, that was so disgusting. That dude looked like a whole vein.
He looked like, you remember that episode of SpongeBob where they were selling chocolate and he wanted to go see the old lady and her even older lady mom.
Yeah, I love it. I know what you're talking about. Yeah, but yeah, I do think that's part of what's missing is the village. And again, if a teacher even yells at a kid the wrong way, they're going to tell their parents, and the parents going to go and they're going to curse the teacher out, and which pretty much empowers the student, empowers children really over adults and anything.
Parents have more power in the school system than they ever did. Like, look at the fact that these moms can get things pulled from the school curriculum.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and honestly, I would say that kids are more sensitive because parents are more sensitive. They're younger. They're growing up, and this is why I blame 16 and pregnant, because parents are getting younger and they're growing up with their children still. So they're not completely emotionally, like if you're having a kid at 16, 17, 18, by the time they're at least in middle school, you still haven't even really reached your emotional intelligence peak yet either. You're getting there with them. You're triggered by different things that you haven't truly learned to cope with. And let's just be honest, you probably haven't addressed these things within your own parents either. So I honestly think we should wait till we get to a point to where we've kind of forgiven our parents for their missteps before we have kids, but we're living in a reality of that just doesn't happen. People aren't as careful. People don't go into creating children with the same amount of care, or with the same amount of love and care that I think a previous generation did. And these are the costs of it. We're dealing with our children in ways that show that we're still growing up. Because to want to pick up the phone and record your own child as he screams and raves in agony and pain and embarrassment and send it to strangers online. Like, if something happens with this young man in the future, they can always go back to his mother's TikTok page and say, hey, he's had a history of behavioral problems, and his own mother can confirm it. So that's why we gave him the electric chair. All starting from this barber's chair.
All right. Let me ask y'all this question. The old age, it seems like it's changed a little bit more, and maybe that's because of financial constraints. But the old days, when your child turned 18, you immediately had to go. And not that people don't do it now, but it seems more now than ever, kids are living with their parents a few more years longer maybe going to college, or maybe they're waiting till at least they get a pretty good job before they actually move out of their parents' home. What do y'all think about that? Do you think once you turn 18, you got to go and find your own way, or do you think you should wait until they're financially secure before they get out?
What do you know at 18 that you could really
Wait,
use
they
to
should
take care of
wait.
yourself?
I mean, we send them to the army at 18 if they want to go.
That's
They are
because
able
the
to go
government
fight
needs
and kill
bodies to
people.
throw at other nations.
Mhm.
Like, what
We
do
still
you
sending them
truly
to the army to
know?
get trained though too.
And
True.
yes, they also train you for that as well. You get a whole different set of knowledge for this military shit, and that's all they want you to know. They're not teaching you how to balance your checkbook. They're not teaching you about finances. They're teaching you how to take a motherfucker down silently, or to, just send out these signals and like do a little Morse code shit. They're teaching you to do shit for them, not to take care of yourself. We don't truly learn anything in high school that's set up to have us take care of ourselves outside of just getting a job at someone else's establishment and knowing basic things about geography, histories, the world, and mathematics. But yeah, you don't know how
Teach you how
to
to take care of that
yourself
bag
as
of
an
flour.
adult when you're wrong. I'm sorry, go ahead.
They teach you how to take care of that baby bag of flour. Y'all might didn't have that back then.
And see, that's something that my era.
We had an egg.
I didn't even
We
get
had
the
an
egg.
egg that we had because you had to take an egg with you everywhere because if you cracked the egg, they knew you had messed up with your baby.
That's
So
a
the whole
valuable
thing was
class,
that you had to
because
take care of the egg for this period of time. You had to be,
certain parents were so sensitive about that they, like, this was the angle they took on having that removed from the curriculum. It's enticing kids to have sex, because if you have them taking care of a fake baby, it's just gonna make them want to create a real. This is the mindset of certain parents, and that's why we don't have that home economics class in our curriculum today. Some schools might still have it. I don't know. I haven't been in high school for like over a decade, but I know when I was in high school, that wasn't an option. And I went to a school that was focused on academics. We didn't even have sports. But these are valuable things that we could be learning. We really don't have a cooking class. I didn't have a cooking class.
Yeah, they got rid of that.
We don't have fucking wood shop. My school didn't have wood shop. Didn't have and carpentry is an essential skill. Fucking Yeshua was a carpenter. The son of our Lord was a carpenter. Why don't they teach us how to do that?
That is something that is missing nowadays, trades.
You have to go to a whole, guess what? You got to enlist and go to a whole different trade school, because education is an industry now.
Yeah, they got to make that money. So that's why they took it out, probably. It used to be
higher
free.
Education.
Yeah.
When it's really not. No, it's basic education. Like I'm going to have a car. Y'all want me to buy a car so that I can get around easier. I should know how to fix it. But no, I got to keep this mechanic in business. I got to keep Pet Boys in business. Capitalism. We live in a capitalist society. We're literally just taught how to be consumers.
People better wake up now, because I don't know if you saw the article I put in the group. There was an article, get these trades. Yeah. You better get these trades to at least have a backup for you, and maybe college if you want to, but at least have a trade first, because like I said, we saw the thing with McDonald's where there are certain states, they've got robots serving people now. Is
quicker.
giving the food and giving the cash back.
That's crazy.
The people who are complaining about raising the minimum wage for McDonald's, Walmart's next. They're already doing it now with the self-checkout.
The self-checkout.
The self-checkouts are getting bigger and bigger.
Yeah.
It's becoming more self-checkouts than regular cashiers.
And they starting to have them at more and more places too.
Yeah. And if they move,
you got them at Dollar Tree.
They do.
I was just about to say I was in Dollar Tree today and they had a big line and I was like, that's a self-checkout. And the dude was like, yeah, only got a card. I was like, I got a card.
Yeah.
Now guess what? Those Dollar Tree employees, they just standing around looking useless.
Yeah.
Looking like they're about to be let
was
go.
Doing something, but it was terrible.
Yeah.
It was terrible.
I've seen a few gas stations that have them now where you can self-check out.
They got them in the airport. In the airport, you don't even have to check out. Like, you scan your card when you come in, and it like you just pick the stuff up, and it like scans it as you leaving out the door type thing. It's a weird one of the airports I just went through recently. I was like, okay,
motherfuckers,
got real events.
Yeah.
Easy credit reforms.
I don't know if y'all seen these AI apps that are out here nowadays making art and
They did a whole fashion show with fake.
They
African
doing
people.
everything.
yeah.
The
That's a-
AI is taking over, doing a bunch of things that we can think
Skynet.
of and things that we don't.
Mhm.
It's Skynet and Ultron are
is.
about to become the new Jeff Bezos and Bill Gates. So
Yeah.
McDonald's
People
is
at Amazon
gonna
better worry too, because
Oh, man.
they'll replace them.
yeah,
with
they've been in the
robots.
they've been in the robot game.
Automation.
Mm-hmm. So I was like, teaching, that's something I think that needs to be part of raising a child, is teaching them again to learn how to fish and not just accepting fish from other people. Learn how to fish so you can catch your own fish. Know what's going to be productive in the next 20 years,
Learn how
not
to grow
going to be
your own
taken by a
food.
robot, because it's coming.
It's
McDonald's,
coming.
you're not going to have to deal with the sassy attitude no more, but you're going to be served by a robot.
Think about it. Even when they do surgeries, the doctors use robot assisted,
Yeah.
you know, and laser and stuff like that. So when they can
Long
work
nursing.
on you, that's what I'm saying. When they can work on you and don't even need a doctor no damn more.
Wouldn't that be crazy? That
You know what I'm
doctors would be
saying?
gone.
That
They'll
shit
be gone.
crazy. Yeah, the doctors good. And they just, it's like, come on, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Uber.
that's like what we're going to.
Yeah. Uber.
The
There's
machines
some
is about to
places where
rise up,
Uber,
bro. I'm telling you, these
the cars
machines.
drive
And don't
themselves.
Domino's got the pizza? Don't Domino's got the pizza cars that bring it to you? They got
I'm
the
hearing about
self-driving
that.
cars.
Mhm.
I
Yep.
went over to my mom's
In
house. She
some
had one of
places.
them little Roomba vacuums, one of them little robot vacuums. She wanted to show it off to me so bad, and I was just looking at it like Will Smith be looking at the robots in iRobot. Like, I don't.
Yeah.
Shoot it right the fuck there.
Those robots, watch, they're going to be doing the same thing that Facebook and TikTok do, taking your information, and you're going to be talking about something that's going to pop up on the internet, something that you want to talk about buying. They're going to
Hell
put
yeah.
robots all in your house.
Everything
They
is gonna be
do. They got
robotic.
Alexa.
Yeah.
They got Alexa in the house and all that stuff
Yeah.
in there.
Alexa, Siri.
Yep, that's what I'm saying. People just be
Smart
willingly think
TV.
about it.
Mm-hmm.
I know Siri always listening. I know you listening, bitch.
And we all can't keep her in our damn pocket because everybody, we can't do nothing without our phones.
Mm-hmm. Which is probably another reason, as LT and me were talking at the beginning of the show, they want everything digitized of how you pay for stuff. You know, you ain't gonna be able to pay with, crumpled up
With
dollars and
cash.
stuff like that. Yeah.
They want to
Track
control
where your money
currency.
They're
goes.
trying to calculate. They're gonna try to track that shit.
Right.
Means they can control wealth.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody was saying that they came up with a new app to get rid of Cash App, Zelle, and Venmo.
Yeah.
government
the guy
came
that got
up
killed.
with-
The federal government
Yeah.
Yep.
The guy that got killed recently.
killed
Mhm.
them motherfuckers.
Yeah, and they're trying to blame it on somebody that used to work with him. He used to be kind of his friend. They said he had something to do with it. Yesterday, I think he got arrested. Not sure what the guy's name was, but
You shot him with a magic bullet.
yeah.
Listen, all that shit we've been seeing in them futuristic movies, what used to be futuristic, a long time
Mhm.
ago, the
Yeah.
RFD chips and all the stuff that chips into people and the
Yeah.
barcodes on them and all
Bro,
that.
this about to be
that's they-
Terminator 2. I'm telling you.
we getting
McDonald's
closer and closer.
it's
Mhm.
about to be Terminator 2 / Avengers Age of Ultron.
All right. Let's move from that one and let's go into something a little bit more disgusting. I don't know what was going on with this story.
Yeah, okay. So you are already, yeah. Oh God.
All right. We're about to go
Buddha. Oh man.
go into the leave it or medicated part of the show.
Or medicated.
Okay, so the Dalai Lama recently made an appearance in the news for not peaceful circumstances. He was with a child, and he was asking the child to do some, I would say, sexual things.
Yeah, say
You know, I know people got different cultures and they do things differently, in other countries and stuff, but I don't know how this would be looked at in a positive manner in any country. And if people don't know, I will play the video for you. Maybe you know something about the Dalai Lama that I ain't supposed to know. Maybe it's a good thing to do that over there, and we're just the people who are pervs. Let me pull it up right quick. Here we go.
Yeah. Then I think finally here also.
Damn, is it still going? Shit.
And
God
some-
damn, this nigga was really
My
trying to kiss
tongue.
this motherfucker. Oh, that shit is gross. That shit is gross. And then he happy and then later is about to nigga, you gross. Ew.
Same him
Ew.
sisters.
Someone save that boy.
Okay.
Ew.
Now let's see. Let's see. Read this article that's talking about it. Let's see. Many believe, surprising here, many believe the video is being wildly misinterpreted and are concerned Chinese Communist Party propagandists are misusing it to discredit the exiled leader and legitimize the Chinese occupation of Tibet. On Monday, the Dalai Lama's office issued Dalai Lama's office issued an apology for the video of a meet and greet in February in the northern Indian city of Dharmashala, I don't know if I'm saying it right, where Tibet's highest spiritual leader has been running an independent government in exile since 1959. Of course, the video, the Dalai Lama is approached by a boy whose identity is not known for a hug. The exiled leader hugs him and asks the child to kiss him on his cheek. After that, the Dalai Lama pointed to his lips and said, "Here also." Then he held the boy's chin and kissed him on the lips. Let's see, Dalai Lama then said, "Suck my tongue," and stuck his tongue out. Again, I don't know if that's a cultural difference or what, so I don't know. Seems sick over here. In Tibet, okay, here we go. In Tibet, sticking out the tongue is a traditional greeting that goes back to the 9th century. The crowd burst out laughing. The Dalai Lama hugged the child again and spoke about peace. It's unclear why the video has gone viral now, so it must have happened a while ago. It started getting reshared last week with many social media accounts framing it as inappropriate, going as far as call it child abuse and pedophilia. Many of the critical posts are from China or by accounts in India, the country that's given the leader a safe refuge for decades. Let's see. And people are saying this is the CCP target for the last 70 years. He's been a target for the CCP for the last 70 years, adding that the current incident is the result of another attempt to discredit him, combined with misinterpretations of Tibetan culture. Again, yeah, that's what I was trying to. I'm trying to give this dude. I don't want to give him a pass because I don't want to be thinking I'm, on the side of somebody who is a pedophilia. But I also know different cultures do different things. So that's pretty much my opinion on it. I'm going to let you guys talk about it. Do you think it was just a cultural thing, or was there much more to it? And let's see, let me find the thing right quick. So, Preezy, I'll let you go first. Leave it if you don't have a problem with what the Dalai Lama was doing. Medicate it if you have a problem with it and what should have been done in the first place. Let me put the timer up. You there, Preezy? Make sure you're
Yes.
there. Okay.
Medicated.
You want to leave it or medicate it first?
Medicated.
Okay, medicated. Here we go.
You ready? Go!
I mean, I don't know about this cultural thing, but what is the definition of kissing him and sucking on his tongue? That doesn't make any sense to me. Here we go with the videotaping, but I guess maybe something like that should have been videotaped. I don't know. It didn't look right. I don't care if it's a culture thing or not. I've never heard of nothing like that. I don't know nothing about the Dalai Lama, whatever his name is. But kissing the kid, here we go. Kissing the kid and then sucking on his tongue. What is the purpose of that? I don't understand. What is he going to get, some type of Holy Spirit if he suck his tongue? Or some blessings? The society today is just nuts. And okay, they call him on video. Well, what he do when he's not on video? This is the thing. What is being done? And he didn't even, trust me, I know he didn't realize he was probably being videotaped. He didn't know that. But everybody in there, they not saying nothing. Why? Because he's the Dalai Lama, whatever it's called. I don't agree to it. It didn't look right. And I don't know. Where were the parents? They allow that. This is what they do in this culture. Like I said, if he did this on camera, what is he doing off camera? It was inappropriate. I've never heard of anybody, you kissing a child on the lips, and I don't think people should be kissing kids on the lips anyway. And sucking up the tongue, that was it. Maybe something should have exploded in his mouth from doing that. That was nasty.
Oh,
That was nasty. I'm talking about the Dalai Lama, not the little boy, because that was
yeah, I got that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Disrespectful.
All right. Sparky T, I'll let you go next on it. You want to leave it or medicate it?
I'm definitely gonna medicate it.
She gonna definitely medicate it. All right.
Are you ready? Go!
I don't care what the instance is. No grown man, old man, none of that have no business sticking his tongue out and telling the little boy to suck it or suck his tongue. I don't care what the verbiage is or whatever. There's no way that you try to, make that okay. It's just not okay. Now the thing as far as what they have going on in Tibetan culture, I don't know what they got going on in Tibetan culture, but I would think that if that was the norm and that was something that they did a lot, that more videos would have surfaced of him having other kids or people kissing his tongue in his defense. Like if it was really something that was that, common and they did it all the time, then there would be other videos or pictures, because he has to have people that are supporters. They would be able to find some of those videos and show them that, look, he's done it here, and look, he's done it there. They would try to make it seem like it's just like how Richard Dawson used to kiss the women on Family Feud. You know what I'm saying? No different. Same thing. If it was, something that was really and truly that they did, and I'm not saying they don't, because I don't know, but if it was something that was, that acceptable, then I feel like there would be some other instances where he had done it, and people that were supporting him would be quick to put that out. But since we haven't said that or we haven't seen that, I'm really wondering how common is it? I get even the sticking out the tongue part. You might stick your tongue out. Michael Jordan stuck his tongue out when he made dunks, but he wasn't asking nobody to suck on his tongue, though. And it's one thing to stick your tongue out. We do it. We do it to little kids all the time. But you ain't asking them to suck your tongue, though. It's a bit much. And as far as it being videotaped, this is probably an instance where it should have been videotaped. Because if it wasn't, then we wouldn't be talking about it right now. Nobody else but the Tibetan people would know that he had little kids sucking his tongue. And there's no checks and balances. Sometimes you got to have some checks and balances in there. Without the video, there wouldn't have been it.
Okay. All right, LT, you up next. Y'all, do you want to leave it or medicate it?
Man, medicated. What the man?
All right, here we go.
Are you ready? Go!
That shit was gross. That shit was gross. Like he was so happy to be kissing that little boy, and for the past 4 or 5 minutes, I've been Googling Tibetan culture. I did it on my incognito tab because I didn't want Chinese man kissing little boy in my search bar. But yeah, I couldn't find anything about it. Everything I found about it was related to the Dalai Lama. And good point, Sparky, because I didn't see anyone defending it with other times he was making little boys suck his tongue. What I did see was people trying to defend it with other grown men kissing each other. Like, again, just trying to distract us from what is really happening right in front of us, pedophilia, because there is no godly reason, and no Buddha-ly reason that he should be kissing a little boy or requesting that the little boy suck his tongue. Like that did that happen with all Buddhas? Is that like a rite of passage to Buddhism? Like, is what I do see happening a lot is people just using this as a chance to attack Buddhism, as a chance to attack religions overall. And again, let it distract. There's pedophilia in just about everything we've been seeing. That's the common thread. Our children are under attack in everything that is happening, regardless if we're talking about Ice Spice, if it's Kanye talking about his fucking kids, if it's Balenciaga and the shit that they're doing with kids. Kids they're under attack right now. The Dalai Lama is only doing something that he's picked up from the Catholic Church, and he pretty much stole their whole flow. They've been doing this for fucking millennia. So it's not just Buddhism, it's not just religion. It's the people that are in control. It's the political system. It's the government. It's the entertainment industry. Your kids are not safe. Hide your kids. Hide your wife.
Okay.
They're raping everybody out here.
All right. I'm a medicated myself.
Are you ready? Go!
Yeah, I from what I've seen, sticking your tongue out is a form of like saying hello in that culture. That's all I've seen, sticking your tongue out. Yeah, and that's weird in itself, I guess, but I hadn't seen anything that says sucking on another person's tongue is a form of saying hello. And this seemed to be a little bit extreme. And, I don't know a whole lot about the culture over there as far as the Dalai Lama is concerned. I do know they kind of consider him to be like a holy being. He's the reincarnation of, I can't even say the dude's name, the god's name, whatever that they worship over there, but he's like a reincarnation of another god. And so they, view him above all else, like a holy person above other people. So people kind of like over here that where we have, preachers or head of churches or head of Islam culture, that people will revere them and listen to everything they have to say, and they can do no wrong in those people's eyes. And that's probably the same thing that happened there. He's so high on the totem pole. The parents, wherever they were, they allowed it to happen because they almost probably felt like they were getting a blessing from him to their child. So they allowed this to happen. So yeah, from everything I've seen, I didn't see anything that said that sucking on another person's tongue is considered a form of hello or anything. I didn't even see anything about kiss on the lips. I could be wrong about that too. I know some people do that over here, to young children, but most of the time they're related to them. This is a complete stranger you're sucking on the tongue of. So, yeah, definitely he shouldn't have done this. He should have read the room. He should know how his image was going to be portrayed if he thought this was something that was wrong in the first place. Okay. Anybody else got anything to say on that? Add to it?
That shit is gross.
Definitely.
Yeah, I didn't see anything about the kissing thing either. Only thing I saw is that sticking out the tongue is sometimes showed as a sign of respect or agreement, or they use it as a greeting. But I don't know where he took the leap to the sucking of the tongue part.
Yeah,
That's
he was
just like,
grooming
come
that
on,
little
dude.
boy. He was getting that little boy ready for later
Yeah.
on.
And
It's
that was
almost like how you was just talking about being desensitized to violence.
Mhm.
You start with the sucking the tongue, then when you ask somebody to suck something else, it don't seem so foreign.
And yeah,
It's
and
a
we always come
progression.
up with the excuse, oh, it's a
know,
part
it's
of their culture. It's
It's a
something
form
that
of-
they've
Yeah, you
always
know what
been
I'm
doing.
saying? It's
Motherfucker.
like, yeah,
And if
I
it
feel
is,
that's like the
no.
same thing.
That's a form of grooming.
Yeah.
That's a form
Getting
of grooming.
But didn't he apologize?
He
Well,
apologized.
yeah, but a lot of people
That's what
apologize
I'm
for shit.
saying. Then he
You
knew
apologize because you got
it
caught
was
in the
wrong.
act.
Because if he didn't think it was wrong, there's no need to apologize. This is what we do. So why did he apologize?
Because we saw it.
Right. It's
I'm
fine.
only
Because
sorry
we
that
was
y'all
getting
saw
so
it.
much
Mhm.
backlash. Yeah, he was getting so much backlash. That's why they made
Mhm.
his ass put out an apology, or his office of people put out an apology.
Well, an
I wasn't
apology,
cool.
dude, my nigga. You got to be removed from. We got to take that
Telling
Dalai Lama from you. Like you
Dalai
can't be
Lama
the.
shit. The Dalai
Hey,
Lama shit. Mm-hmm.
we gotta run that shit back. Like we gotta whatever type of election has to happen for us to elect a new Dalai Lama. Like what do we do when
But
a figure like
he
we
been there
got
for
Bill Clinton
years,
up out
right?
of here for getting his dick sucked?
He been there for years though.
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure how he gets in there, but I think they do some ritual or whatever, and they know that
They need to undo the
he's
ritual.
got this old god inside of him as I think a child. I could be totally wrong. I could be messing it up completely, like the golden child.
Is this shit
That's
came
all what
from?
I'm thinking.
Eddie
It
Murphy.
said that he was exiled. It says he was exiled from India, and he's
Mhm.
been like back I think in '59 or something like back and he's been the head of the people that are opposed to China occupying Tibet.
I mean, that's cool or whatever,
long
but
time.
like
Right. Nah.
that
So
guy,
I'm like, wow, okay.
I don't know about that little
you know
boy
what? You
thing.
might have got exiled for a reason. What reason did he get? Like, cause now
Hey.
now I gotta look into you deeper.
Oh man.
Over here tonguing down
I
little
was
boys.
shocked when I saw that. I was very shocked.
I was, oh my God, that is.
What
And
is
again,
this?
he's not doing nothing new. The Catholic Church has been on this wave for years. Like Pope and Catholic priests have how many stories of choir boys coming out saying, "Hey, I've pretty much been being molested from the time I was like 6 years old up until now, me being 38." Catholic Church is behind it, and they just either some of them pop up dead.
Yeah.
I saw the Da Vinci Code the other week. Like the shit gets. They've been on some and it honestly stems from an old Greek and Roman practice of Greek and Roman elites, the wealthy of the town, not feeling like raising their own children and just leaving their kids in the woods to be raised. Only not even their kids, their young sons. Because back in ancient times, no one gave a fuck about their daughters. They literally they sold their daughters off to the highest bidder. But my son, he's gonna be the heir. So I don't have the time to raise him and teach him shit. But there's this old wise nigga in the woods named Socrates or Plato or Aristotle. I'm gonna just leave my son with him and let him teach my son shit. And Socrates, Plato, Aristotle, all these old wise philosophers were exactly what you think they are. Old white men that were diddling and kissing on and fondling these young men. Everything stems from ancient Greece and ancient Rome. And ancient Greeks and ancient Romans, they loved little boys. More so than women. Honestly, they partied with each other more than they partied with the women that they would procreate with. That's why Alexander the Great is bisexual. He was under the tutelage of Plato for from the ages of like 11 to like 20.
Mhm.
And yeah, notoriously bisexual. That's why he didn't leave an heir. He was too busy fucking boys all across the world. Persian boys, Egyptian boys, Indian boys.
Sparky T, let me ask you this question.
Okay.
As your children were growing up, did you let them spend the night much at any, like not your family's house, but I don't know, maybe childhood friends that like, hey, can yeah, say that quick.
Nah, my house was the hangout. My house was the house that everybody came to spend the night at. I ain't care how many friends they had over. I ain't none of that shit. But I was gonna know where they was at. Somebody called me with do you know where your child is? Hell yeah, they downstairs on the pool table making all that damn noise. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, but nah, my kids didn't go spend the night barely anywhere. And they went to my mom lives in California, but so when she was here though, they went to her house. They would, but outside the family, nah, not really. Not like talking about their godparent here or there, but it was really few and far between. Even when they got older. I would why don't we just have it over here? Why don't you just let everybody come over here? That way I could, know what's going on. What people doing at their house.
What would
Not
be
know what people doing at their house.
What would be your requirement for somebody outside of your family to let your child spend the night there? Like, I don't know if there's an age range. If your child had to be older than 5 or 16 to spend the night, did you have to know the parents a certain amount of time? Did they have to have both parents, or could it just been the mother? What were your requirements you would think that to let your child spend the night at someone?
I think every situation is different, but I definitely have to know the people. I definitely have to know the people, like know them. I ain't talking
Okay.
about I just met you and da 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 da. Da. Nah, and I've been in their house. I'm not bringing my kid to nobody's door. I'm coming in. I'm seeing what's going on. I want to know who else lived there. I want to know that you got some uncles, older brothers, any of
Mhm.
that that's gonna be there. I want to know all that, like all of that. So I gotta know that situation. Definitely know the people. Um, but even with that, they wasn't really going nowhere like that. Nah, not like talking about it. Steven did. He had one friend that he would go hang out at their house. And we like knew the parents. But even when their situation changed, he stopped going over there.
Right.
Yeah, she got with a different person, had gotten a divorce and all that in the process. And then when she got with somebody else, the situation changed and the environment changed. Steven ain't never been back over there.
Okay.
Nah.
Would your child have to be a certain age? Regardless of
Oh well,
spending.
definitely they had to be able to tell me what was going on. If they couldn't
Yeah.
speak for themselves and be able to articulate, if somebody had done something to them, nah,
Right.
they can't go. Nah, they're not going. They can't go nowhere without me if they can't speak for themselves like that. Nah.
Okay.
So yeah,
Did
so a
you
little bit
did you
older,
ever
I was gonna say.
have conversations about what another person shouldn't do to you, shouldn't touch you, somewhere like that?
Oh yeah, we've had all them conversations. Nobody should. I used to do foster care.
Okay. Yeah.
So, and I say that because I also used to bring people into my home,
Mhm.
which it should be a safe place. And I had a young child at the time. So my youngest son he was definitely under, he was the youngest of everybody. So we had all those conversations, even with your brother, your sister, anybody, it doesn't matter who it is. Nobody should be touching you this type of way. Not just here, but it's this type of way. You should always feel like you can come and talk to mommy. My kids come to me about most things because I'm just kind of open. I'm real open. I like to just talk about it and get it out there. You don't have to go out, in the neighborhood or in the world and get your information. You can get it from me. You know what I'm saying? If I don't know, we can look it up together. We can find it. But I have real open lines of communication. But we talked about all of that. Like, even with my one son, when it was time to find out about condoms, well, let's go to the store. You know what I'm saying? Let's go to the store and look at the different things on the shelves. Let's talk about why this, why not that, that. Yeah. For a long time, we was on the aisle. The people in the store kept coming around looking. Ain't nobody trying to steal them damn condoms. I'm trying to teach my son, get the hell out of here. But yeah, we're gonna have all those conversations because I was a single mom for a long time.
Mhm.
So I had to do both sides. And I try not to, leave them out there not knowing and having to go ask somebody else. Now you can always come and ask mommy.
Right.
Like I
And
literally had one of their friends who ended up coming to be my foster son later, be like, Miss Sneaker, I just got a question I gotta ask you. And they called and I was like, what is going on? What's up? He was like, if you having sex with a girl and you pull out and you bust on her back, can she get pregnant? I'm on the phone like,
this wait
well,
till I get home.
let's talk about this. You know what I'm saying? It's like a
Yeah.
whole live
I've
conversation. But he
never.
wasn't my foster kid at the time. He was just
Mhm.
a friend of my son. So, they're all kids, all the boys are trying to talk about it. And they trying to figure out where they could get some good information. So it's like, yo, let's call Miss Tanika, let's call mom. And so they
That's
called
what's
me.
And
up.
Group
can she?
That's
I
group
was
of
what's
them
gonna
on
up.
the
say,
phone.
can she still get
Yeah,
pregnant?
Let's
Is
get
group
Miss
of them on the phone. But
let's get Miss
just
Tanika
literally,
on the phone and ask if I bust
let's
on somebody's
ask.
back, will she get pregnant?
Base
that
is
come?
one,
That
but it
come
was
from?
one of those.
Hell
Hey,
no.
it was one of those who are they comfortable enough with? They
Right.
still feel like they can talk.
That's
It's not going
good.
to be judgment. It's
Right.
not going to be me gigging on you or whatever. I'm saying, but if you need something, come to me and ask me. So when the kids come to me and ask me whatever, you don't think I want to be like, what? But nah, I kept my
Yeah.
composure. You know what I'm saying? They handle my business. And that keeps them, kept them coming back to me throughout the generations. I
Yeah.
ones that are 30 and ones that are in their teens still will come to me and and ask for things. I think that's good, especially with your kids.
It
Because if they
is.
can't talk to you, they going somewhere.
And you know what probably would happen back in the day? You go ask your parent that, you probably would have got spanked. You would have got beat.
Popped in the
You would have
mouth or
got
whatever.
smacked
Yeah.
Yeah,
across
you would have been
the
disrespectful and all these other things.
a
And so
Mhm.
that's
deviant.
why
You
a
would
lot
have
of
been in
times
church every
we
Sunday.
used to tip. Yeah, well, that's why people used to do a lot of sneaking and all
Yeah.
of that,
Yeah.
when people weren't as open with their
Yep.
parents. I'm not
Yeah.
saying it's got to be disrespectful,
Yeah.
but you have got to have an open line of communication with your kids. Like even when I was married the first time, when I found some things with my stepdaughter, she told me, I said, I'm not gonna tell your dad. You're gonna tell him. You got to this time, but you need to tell him. So I went to him. I was like, look, baby girl gonna come and talk to you about something. You better keep your composure because if you let it go, she ain't never gonna come to you again in her life ever.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And he kept it, and they got a really good relationship now. So I just think that you have to be a safe place for your kids at all costs. We have to be a safe place.
Yep, that goes with what we were saying earlier. A lot of people we're in a generation now where people are having kids before they have that emotional intelligence to react like that.
Yeah.
Like we think the best way to react to our kids doing some shit is just popping them ill. You're not supposed to be doing that. Stop it. And just not explaining, not talking to them about why they shouldn't do that or the consequences of doing that. Hold up. Dude really thought that's some shit that older dudes in the neighborhood, like when they figure out you doing something, they trying to mess with you and they lie to you about some shit. You know she can still get pregnant even if you put it on her back, right? You know that, right? See, little nigga, see, y'all don't know.
It goes through the skin.
And when you're like 13, 14, 15, you don't know. It's like, damn, shit. 14 and pregnant, here I come. Like you really don't know. And it is important to have honest people around because there are those bitter old people in the neighborhood or around that will probably lie to you and just play with you because they don't take it as seriously. If you don't have an older person, an authority figure or guardian that is around to properly guide you, whether it be sex, smoking. Like I know at a certain point, I know I want my kids to approach me. Like whenever I know I want them to approach me first. I want to make sure that every conversation we have leading up to their first conversation about drugs, they feel safe enough and secure enough and sex included. I want like my son and daughter feel comfortable enough to come to me first. Cause I mean, honestly, we're the first line of introduction and exposure to everything that our children is going to see, whether it be like the kind of media that they like watching on TV. It's going to start with the kind of media that they see us watching, the kind of media that they're going to understand at a certain point. This is kid stuff. This is what they're watching, or this is what they have me watching. But every kid looks at their parents for pretty much as a compass. So I definitely thought it was, it's so appropriate that we have both masculine and feminine guidances when it comes to these kind of things. And they both need to be patient. They both need to be understanding, and they both need to just be a safe haven for that child. Like it's their, because ultimately it's their life. They're going to make the decision that they decide to make. And the overall theme is that, they need to still feel that they have the love and support of the people that they pretty much learn everything from at the end of the day.
All right. Cool. It's a good point. Good point. All right. We're going to move on to the next subject on the docket. And let's see, the subject is accountability is not the same as an apology. And we got a video to go behind this, and then we're going to comment on it. Pull that up right quick. Let's see where, here we go.
Clarify that accountability is not the same as an apology.
Right.
Because
Very true.
accountability means that there is a consequence after the action. So either that means, okay, you did that, and because of that, this is the consequence. And I believe that is what men have to deal with. I think a lot of times women think just by saying, I'm sorry, I'm accountable. That is not the same thing.
Okay. Now, this is not a, women and men thing here. This is just a question on accountability, period. Is accountability the same as an apology? Or do you think accountability is not an apology? Actually, she was saying the first half of that video. I'm going to get you guys' opinion on that. When it comes to apology, do you agree with what she says first? Leave it. If you don't agree with what she has to say, medicate it and tell us why you don't agree with what she has to say. And then give us your perspective on what an apology should have in it. when someone that's done you wrong, what should an apology have in it to make it worthwhile for you? Okay. LT, I'm gonna let you go first on that one. First, do you want to leave it? Do you agree with what the lady had to say on the video? Medicate if you don't agree. And then tell us what you think about what apology should have when someone has done you wrong.
I guess I'll leave it. I'm gonna leave it.
Okay, there we go.
You ready? Go!
I think this is also one of those things. It's particular to the kind of person. Some people don't require a long, drawn-out apology, or some people don't require that. Because to me, accountability, for one, I'll break that. Accountability to me is the explanation that goes along with your apology. I think I do not think being accountable replaces an apology. I think they kind of work together. I think when you say I apologize, it should be, I think it should be followed by accountability to just further the conversation, further the communication. Like, I'm sorry, did I said something to make you feel this way? I didn't know that I did that, and I did not mean to do that. And I feel like accountability is just things you add on to an apology so that it doesn't sound just like you're saying sorry. So I honestly don't know what to do with it. I'm leaving it because I don't disagree with what she said, but I know that a lot of people, they don't have more to say than I am sorry. I mean, it gets into a larger conversation about communication overall. Some people don't require as much. Some people do require as much. Me personally, if I feel offended, yeah, I want more than I'm sorry, my bad. And when I feel as though I have offended someone, I'm going to give more than a I'm sorry, my bad. Because I actually feel ways about it. Like I take, if I truly understand why or how I offended you, I feel like it is my due diligence as just a communicating human being to not only apologize, but to take accountability, because I feel like that helps mend the wound. You know what I'm saying? That helps mend the fences of whatever transgression I might have committed towards you. So yeah, I feel like they go hand in hand. It's particular to every person. Just do you. It's your thing.
Okay. All right, Sparky T, do you want to leave it or medicate it? And if you can, tell us what an apology should encompass when someone has done you wrong.
Okay.
Yeah, you want to leave it or medicate it first?
I'm gonna leave it.
Okay, tell us why.
Are you ready? Go!
Because I think that with accountability, you have to make the change, kind of like she was talking about too. That there's a change that's required with accountability. Like, you can't tell me that you're sorry or you didn't mean to do something, but you keep doing it again and again and again. At that point, you're not sorry, nor are you being accountable for it, because you're still doing it over. So as far as an apology, like Lord Trent said, I think they kind of go hand in hand. It's kind of hard to apologize to somebody but not be accountable for your behavior. If that's just an open ass apology, you really just saying sorry at that point. It's not sincere. It's not genuine. I believe that a genuine and sincere apology, you have to take accountability for your behavior. It's, one of the pieces of the apology. I also think that it depends on what it was that was done. Sometimes you could have did something that you offended somebody, but you had no intention to. So it could be oh, I'm sorry, or I apologize for doing that. That wasn't my intention. That's it. Nothing more, nothing less. In another situation, you may have done something to somebody where you really offended them. You knew what the hell you was doing, and if you want to mend that relationship, or keep the bridge, then you're going to have to do a little bit more than, oh, I'm sorry, I just apologize. You might have to offer some restitution. If it's something that you did that, there was something in there that, it cost them financially or their time, or, it could be something like that where, so you have to do that, I think. Of course, you have to acknowledge it. And I think that we need to discuss it sometime too, because you may not understand why what you did made me upset. So I think that that's part of the thing. You have to understand why what you did offended the other person. And I don't feel like you can understand any of that if you don't have a conversation, you're being accountable. So I think that, like I said, it kind of goes hand in hand. I know that's a lot, but
Okay. All right, Preezy, you're up next. Do you want to leave it or medicate it first?
Leave it.
All right, you want to leave it and tell us why.
Are you ready? Go!
I think a lot of people use the word accountability because they don't want to say sorry. Like they may say, I take accountability for what I did. Instead of just saying sorry, that's the word they use. So are they really sorry? I really don't have much to say about it. I just think that it is a difference between saying the word accountability and sorry. I feel when people say that, they're not really something about that word sorry. They just don't want to come out of their mouth. So they'll say, oh, I'll take accountability for what I did, instead of just saying, hey, I apologize for what I did. I was wrong. So that's just my opinion on that.
Okay. All right. So I'm gonna leave it. Let's see.
Are you ready? Go!
Okay, so with me, it's a 3-part series when it comes to a full apology. Accountability, yes. Accountability is you saying why you were wrong. Let's just say the scenario is somebody stole money out your wallet. You say why I was wrong for stealing money out your wallet because it was your property. It's not mine. I was wrong for that. Then the apology is the second part, saying I'm sorry for that. The third part for me, I think I need, which can't happen really within that, I guess that moment of an apology, is the change. It takes time, because when you do something wrong against somebody, you just lost either all the trust or at least a piece of the trust. So now you have to earn it back. If somebody has been constantly cheating on you, and they can say, well, yeah, I was wrong for cheating on you because I'm with you. I'm just supposed to be with you. It was wrong to be with somebody else. I'm sorry. That doesn't really do anything for the person you apologize to if they've been done wrong that many times. They need time and see change with you in you to make that apology solidified. So that's the thing for me, is if it depends on the act, but I have to see change for that apology to really stick. Unless it was, something small and it's something that's, they've never done before and is out of their character, then you might be willing to be like, okay, they really took accountability. They sound like they were really sorry. I'm willing to forgive and forget now. But if something that's been committed over and over and over again, you're not going to trust what they say with their apology or their state of accountability. So I got the third part for me. I got to see change over time.
So when somebody apologizes to you, Red, will you not tell them I accept your apology? Because it needs to take time for the change to happen.
I will, kind of what you just said. I said I'll take your apology, but I'll need to see change happen for me to fully get over the act.
Gotcha.
That's what I'll say. And I'll try not to condemn the person if it's not something that's rarely happen. If it's the first time this ever happened, I'll try to condemn the act and not the person. If it happens too many times, then I probably should just leave or not be around that person anymore.
Like it gets more gray than black and white, because you would have to pick: is this something I can forgive right now? Is this something I can get? Because like I was saying, like it's something like you ate the last, you ate the last slice of bologna or some shit. A quick apology that's all that that's all that's needed. But if you did something like as drastic as cheating or lying or stealing or like you punched me or some shit, like that's something that
ain't no apology for that shit.
There's no
what? Apologize.
That's something like even accountability.
That's the thing, yeah. You better hope I don't peel your damn wig back, nigga.
Those are things that those are things that time and space needs to heal. But
And Sparky said you ain't getting no space or time.
Y'all about to
You
say,
ain't
yeah, you gonna get space, you gonna get all the fucking space you need, but it ain't gonna be no time because that shit gonna be dead.
in the upper room.
That shit gonna be dead. DEAD dead. Yeah. Hell yeah.
Yeah, there are certain things that accountability. That accountability goes hand in hand with the apology. Like for me, accountability is the confirmation that it's not going to happen again. Like it's the confirmation of understanding of why I am upset. It's the validation of my feelings of what I'm saying. What made me upset of why, and not necessarily to say the other person is wrong, but yeah, the miscommunication that we had, the misinteraction, this is something this made me feel this way. You did it. It might not even be something that that you've been doing. And it's the because sometimes that'll prolong the argument where it's something that someone legitimately didn't know that, hey, I do this and it makes you feel a way. Like I make this kind of joke and I didn't know that what I'm saying, this like joking about this makes you feel this way.
Yeah.
And it's something you really have to like argue with people about sometimes, that no, this is why this thing bothers me, and I need you to be accountable for that. Because some people, they really just well, I said I'm sorry and want to move past it real quick. Like they'll throw the sorry in your face, like I said I'm sorry, so you should just accept that. No, you need to be accountable for why you're saying, like, do you even care about why you're saying you're sorry? That's me being particular. I can be honest about that because I'm not just going to be able to get over it and accept it if I truly don't like it, especially if I feel like you're telling me I should be grateful with the sorry, or I should just that's not the same as being accountable, like Breezy was saying.
Would you take this apology? I'm pretty sure y'all have heard this one before. I'm sorry that I made you feel this way, or I'm sorry that you're feeling this way because of what I did.
Because I think that's the avoidance of accountability. That's literally
that's that know off shit.
Yeah.
I'm avoiding accountability because you
there's
feel
no
like
accountability.
Right.
Yeah, there's no accountability in that.
You feel.
They're not sorry for what they did.
Yeah,
hell no.
I've been told
I had to learn to stop apologizing. And it's something that happens. Like when you really feel like it's something that happens when people feel like how they feel in the argument is more important than how the other person feels in the argument. And they can't see past how they see them. Like they can't see past why they want to be more right or more correct. They can't see that, or they honestly just can't take accountability and see that my actions either directly or indirectly upset or offended this person. Okay. And I don't like being told that. I don't. So
people don't want to be wrong.
Let me ask this then, because I'm pretty sure you've been in a situation where somebody did feel bad from something you may have did, but maybe you don't think you're wrong. Do you still apologize, or how do you apologize
for making them feel? If you truly care that you upset them, like interactions are a compromise of energies. It's a blending of energies. It's a collaborating of energies, and the best way to get a collaboration is to communicate. And you have to be open to hearing how people feel. Like that's all opinions and interactions are. It's feelings.
About communication.
Yeah, but if you don't feel like you did nothing wrong,
that's what I'm saying.
But this is the thing. Like for me, like if I don't usually if I don't feel like I've done anything wrong, but somebody has said to me that I've offended them, we're gonna have a conversation about it. Because I want to know why why did it offend you? You know what I'm saying? And then I'm probably gonna hit them with what I just said I wasn't trying to accept on some, I apologize, for offending you, or I apologize for, that what I said made you feel some kind of way. It's gonna come out something like that. But if I really don't feel like I did nothing wrong, I'm not about to say I was wrong. I will apologize for the fact that what I said or my actions offended you. But if I don't think I'm wrong, you ain't never gonna get my ass to say I'm sorry for that shit. You're gonna be mad because I won't say I'm sorry for it. Like it's gonna be a standoff almost. Because if I don't think I'm wrong, hell no, I ain't saying sorry. But I will apologize if what I did offended you. That wasn't my intent.
I mean, then that becomes the communication. Those word difference, I think that sounds better.
That button.
Huh?
I'm sorry.
I said after you, Sparky, that's the time Red should have hit that explosion button.
Fire. Make my shit fire. But yeah, like just the way that was worded is much better than I'm like like even the slight difference in wording. That's just much better than I'm sorry that you feel that way. Because
Yeah, nah, I
even
try
that,
not to do
if
that. Yeah, because I'm sorry you feel that way. It's kind of like being facetious. That's like, yeah, I'm not
right,
really sorry that I made you feel that way, but I'm gonna
it's
tell
a
you this
deeper
bullshit anyway.
explanation of it's
Yeah,
letting you know I may not agree with the way
yeah,
that you feel, but I mean, like you have to like it's body language too, like we were saying in last week's show about the facial expressions that you're showing. You really have to convey to the person if you were truly not trying to make them feel that way, but you don't feel wrong. Like, hey, I am truly sorry that I offended you, but I disagree. Like you like there's again there's you just got to communicate, and that gets into a larger conversation of if that person truly can't get over it, that's their journey. You know,
Yeah, it's
but
hard though when you're in a relationship and maybe however you communicate is naturally how you communicate. And I know over time you learn each other and you learn how not to maybe speak so loud or be condescending or too sarcastic or whatever.
mm,
Yeah, but in the beginning, when you know that's naturally you and you don't think you did wrong because maybe you talk to everybody else like that, no one has a problem. But when you're in a relationship, it's a little bit different. As Sparky was saying, I don't know if I would say I would apologize, but I'll at least will say, well, I'll try next time to learn a different form to talk to you. And if I continue to do that act, then she or whatever has a right to be upset with it. And
I mean,
then
that's the
maybe
third
you
part
have
we
to
keep
go your
alluding
separate
to is
ways.
the change
but
behavior.
think about even with that, if you don't think you're wrong, okay, but they want you to change your behavior that you don't think that you're wrong about.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? Y'all almost sometimes, and not just in you, because I know even in relationship for me, you know, if I don't think I'm wrong, we like I said, we about to almost be at a standoff. Because
Mm,
I love you. I'm not trying to offend you. That is never my intention.
Right.
I am not here to to make you, I'm here to make your life easier, better, and what I'm saying, happier. Anything outside of that, that's not my job.
I
But
think
there
it
are
has to come
things.
from a place of it can only be done, or the only healthy or effective way it can be done is it has to like not be under the pretense, or we have to stop looking at it under the pretense of being right and wrong, which is hard to do because yeah, when you have your way of doing things and they have their way of doing things, and you necessarily feel like your way is more effective, and you feel like they might not, yeah, they might just be being particularly too sensitive to something, or yeah, like
It
it's
definitely
just the
did.
differencing of opinions, but yeah, it's got to be looked at more than right and wrong. It has to be looked at. I made this person feel this way, and that's when the third part of the change behavior pops into it. Because even though you don't feel wrong about the way you did this or the way you said this, if you don't want to offend this person again or get into this argument again, you're going to take the route of least resistance
Yeah. But
verbally.
if you care enough about that person that you don't want them to feel terrible for whatever act you committed, but you don't think you're wrong, you may have to adapt. It's when
Yeah.
you completely change your whole
Like
personality,
no,
though, that's when it gets dangerous. When you change your entire personality to where you're
that,
no longer yourself, then
Well,
it's
you done
that's a
totally shut
problem.
it down because now you're trying to be who that person wants you to be. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? And
there's that.
that's controlling and manipulating. Now
That
that
is
ain't,
correct.
but I do
it can get there.
agree and understand, with the whole, if you care about a person, shit, you don't want to see the person that you love hurt. I
Right.
mean, you just don't. I don't want to see you hurt. Shit, when you hurting, I'm hurting. You over there, I'm hurting too. So I don't want to do that to you. There are going to be times that we're going to disagree or we may have miscommunication. But shit, I feel like if you love each other enough, you can work it out. You got to talk it out. A lot of times people don't talk.
Mhm.
And just like what we were talking about with the kids,
Right.
your
Right.
significant other has to be a safe place to talk to, though. If they
Mm.
come to you and tell you about something, to talk to you about something, and they always, you already know that that doesn't make you want to go and talk to them. You
Sparky,
start
isn't
to
that
feel beat, huh?
I was about to say what you're saying? The adult version ain't that like a form of adult spanking where you don't get nothing explained? There's no conversation. You just go straight for the punishment, and there's no conversation happening.
Pretty much. But that's what I'm saying. Think about it. Everything in life is relationships.
Yeah.
Everything in life is relationships. Everything is give and take. Everything is just energy, which you got, one that's dominant, one that's not. It's always a push and pull in
Mhm.
all relationships. It's either I'm giving energy or I'm getting energy at all times. So
And
either my
sometimes, yeah,
energy
we
is
just gotta say, like, sometimes we just gotta say that whatever the person said that offended us, that hurt my feelings. And we have to be comfortable saying that to our partners. Like that hurt my feelings. And sometimes when we say that, we can actually come around to hearing the way the other person thinks. Like we just really have to be honest communicators with the way we feel because right and wrong is black and white. Those are based in facts. Like like trying to debate on how right or how right you are and how wrong the other person is in a situation, you could literally sit there for hours upon hours. But it really just boils down to they felt a way about a situation and you felt differently about a way about a situation. And yeah, just honestly talking it out and coming to a decent compromise. Like everybody wants to I think it gets passionate and heated sometimes, and everyone wants to win the argument. They want their feelings to be the most right, the most validated. But I think we
That's
have to get to
dangerous
a
too.
point where they just want to be the most, or not the most, but just want to be shared. Just want to be heard. Everyone just needs to be heard.
if your other person is hurt though, you ain't win. Even if you ended up being right, listen, this is my thing. There's no need for me to break you down, for me to only have to come back later and build you up.
Very
In the
good point.
midst of an argument, you know what I'm saying? We don't have to do all that. I mean, it doesn't have to be all of that because all of that beat down and battering and arguing and me trying to beat in my point because I'm right and whatever. Like at the end of the day, you still taking the blows, even though they coming from me, and I'm supposed to be a safe place at home. You know what I'm saying? Then I'm gonna have to come back later and and rebuild you up. Maybe not back on that same thing, but I can't have you out here licking your wounds that I didn't inflict it on you with my mouth. Like that's not, you know what I'm saying? That's not cool. You don't have to. So I try I don't know. I try not to do that. And I feel like a lot of times when we get to talking, we don't listen to the other person. Like you said, open and honest communication. Sometimes if somebody could just say that hurt my feelings, and you can say, well, then why? And then they could actually verbalize to you why it hurt their feelings. Like it could be some deep rooted shit from when they was a
Yeah.
kid,
There you
but you
go.
never knew that. You weren't
We
around.
usually
You
tell
didn't know.
people they shouldn't be hurt by that. Because it hurts hearing those things about ourselves. We don't like hearing that negative. Like we got to be open to people telling us that, hey, you hurt my feelings. It's
Right.
like we got to learn to be vulnerable with people so people can be vulnerable. Boom, I was just saying that. We got to learn to be vulnerable with people so they can be vulnerable with us.
It's gotta be a safe place. It's gotta be. Ain't nobody coming around to talk to you if every time they come, you keep flipping them off. They're not because people, we all have feelings. We all want to know that what I feel is valid. Even if it's not, you don't agree, my feelings are still valid. And we all want to be validated at the end of the day.
Yeah, you don't have to
Yeah.
agree with something to understand it.
Right. That's right. We can
I,
agree to disagree, and that's okay. It's okay to agree to disagree, but we can only do that after we talk about it.
I think a lot of time what happens too, in a disagreement, let's say it's coming from the person that got hurt, and they're saying they didn't like what you did to them. What it sounds like to the receiver is that you're condemning them. You're not condemning the act or whatever. So they get defensive, and then now they don't want to hear anything you have to say. And now you don't want to hear anything that he or she has to say. And then that's where who's going to be right or the most right in the argument happens, and no one gets heard. And it's just a back and forth the whole time, and nothing changes. And then now the resentment between both of you, and you know how resentment goes, a grudge goes. People can hold grudges for years, and grudges do nothing but get bigger and bigger. Eventually, the relationship dissolves based off something that might happen 3 years ago that was never fixed.
It was small, but it
Yeah.
kept festering.
Mm-hmm.
Because they didn't talk about it. Like if again, if you're
They argued
not
about it. They
open,
didn't talk about it. There's a difference. They didn't discuss it.
they didn't discuss it. You're right. You're right. Arguing, no one's hearing anybody. You're honestly just waiting for the person to be done yelling so you can start yelling.
Yeah.
If you're even waiting.
If everybody say,
I'm about to
yeah,
say you ain't even listening. Usually
Yeah.
when you doing that, because you try to keep your argument fresh in your heads. You ain't
Mhm.
heard shit
Trying
they
to
done
change.
said.
oh
You
Lord,
just ready to
Mhm.
go
It's
off.
hot fire. Ooh. First off,
got flashbacks. I got PTSD. with
Right. Everybody in the woo.
stupid. I'm not even gonna let you get the chance. Like,
You just want to have the last word. You just want to have the last word. No, I don't. Yes, you do. Shut up. Damn.
you shut up.
You yeah,
Yeah,
see.
see it be that shit. Yeah.
You don't tell me to shut
Yo,
up.
me, yeah, that
My own mama don't tell me to shut up. Well, that's the
Oh
problem.
yeah.
right there.
Shut up. Who the hell are you talking to? Somebody
It's like,
shut
see?
up. Oh yeah. See, and that's the other thing. I also think that it's important for us to know what our triggers are.
Mhm.
Because there are certain either catchphrases, certain tones of voice, certain things that a person could say that shit gonna set you off.
Yeah.
Even if it wasn't meant that way. It could be that they calling your name the way that your mama used to call you when you was in trouble. They don't know that. No, it could be little things that it's your trigger, but if you don't know what they are, it's hard for you to explain to somebody else what they are, or for you to know that that's what's getting ready to happen so you can breathe and kind of sidestep it, as opposed to just reacting to it all the time.
She would love example how condemning the act would sound like from you. If I'm trying to give a scenario, what would the act be committed against me? Let's just say someone cheated. And let's say this is their first time they ever did it. We've been together for 5 or 10 years or whatever, the first time they cheated. And I would be like, I know this is not you. And there's something else that has been going on. Your cheating is bad. You can recover from
because
this.
that's a big thing. Let's, instead of cheating, how about flirting? Like, because cheating
could be a one and done. Hey,
yeah,
I'm
that's
like,
what I'm saying.
She
Like,
must
cheating,
say
ain't
like
no,
you
for
about to
I'm
give a
real.
giving the
couple
act
chances
and
on
the
that one.
actor. You know what I'm
You
saying?
a bigger
Like,
man than I thought you were. Even you damn sure a bigger man than I am woman if you giving them a couple
I'm trying
strikes
to
on the
tell you,
cheating.
this
I don't
ain't
even want to
you.
think about the act. I'm condemning the
Well,
actor. I'm
Look, your
condemning
whole
the movie.
village then
I'm
piped up.
condemning
Your
the
whole village
producer.
then piped up over a hypothetical situation, boy. We
Well,
got your back, boy.
I'm not saying that's what I would say, but no.
Almost set yourself up for failure there. Yeah.
Right. Flirting. Well, see, it's almost. I got to put a little added weight on this one.
Like, let's say they ran into an ex and they were a little friendlier than you would like for them to be.
or they went out for a drink.
Went out for a drink with an old flame. With, you know what I'm saying.
Okay, I'm gonna talk to them and be
You
like,
saw her ex in her DMs. Like the phone was open. You ain't go through it. The phone was just open. You know what I'm saying?
What'd he say? Okay, see, this almost feel like it's actually happening. Damn, now you getting more flashback. What'd he say?
He sent 3 eggplants and a smiley face.
What'd she say?
She sent LOL. Not a laughy emoji, just LOL.
That's a good one.
Okay, so she just laughed at it, but she didn't confirm whether it's gonna happen or not.
Yeah, all she did was say LOL.
But she should have said something like, "Hey, I got a man." Okay, so yeah, I would have definitely voiced my opinion. I would have been as calm as I am right now because we can get banned off of this. But I definitely would have been upset with her with that, and I would have voiced my opinion. It's probably not going to come out as smooth as the example that she wants, where I wouldn't condemn the person. So I'm not going to lie. I wish I could say I would not condemn the person. I would be lying if I say I wouldn't have said some few choice words for seeing that. I wouldn't go off as bad as if she actually cheated. But yeah, I probably would get a little bit mad if I saw a conversation like that. Like, why would you not say that you're with somebody? Why are you even having this conversation?
I would have been on Google trying to figure out if LOL means something different now. Like, look, long on, like,
lick or laugh. Could be one of those two. But yeah, I can't. No, I'm not going to be dishonest.
LOL and
mad about that. I was giving an example of how it would look. I'm not saying personally I would have just been okay with the flirting or the cheating. no, I'll be pissed and I probably would condemn the person in that. So yeah, I'm not gonna lie on that. If I could be a perfect person, then I would condemn the act in that. But I am not perfect when it comes to that situation for that act. So no, I would be pissed at that if I saw that in the DMs.
LOL me. Because yeah, if that's one of those situations where I just I said I'm sorry. Oh, not only are you sorry, you're gone. You're out of here.
Right.
You can go. Matter of fact,
some acts are unforgivable sometimes. Some acts are unforgivable, or at least are unforgivable in the moment. And
because
maybe
in that moment, if you could actually tell me, well, I did if I'm not even going, I can't make up in my mind what reason would be explainable. Because yeah, what the fuck does LOL mean? Why did you only respond LOL? If you're honest enough to say, well, hey, I didn't know if I didn't know if our relationship was serious or not. Like it depends on the time. Like it depends on so much. How long have we been together? Is this a serious thing? Have I officially courted you and made you my woman? Are we like in a relationship and solid together? Are we just are we doing that thing where we're just talking? We haven't made anything official yet. Do you not know how to respond to these kind of things? Because a lot of women say that they don't know how to respond to sexual advances from not only men, but from ex-flames. Like some women are taught to just laugh it off, be okay about it. Or that's how some women are dry. They're taught to be dry, to try to dead something, to end something, or that may just be the way they naturally handle things. They give it no attention, but they still give it some attention. Like they think they're being, they think that somehow the guy on the other end is going to take I don't know. I don't know. There's not many ways to slice it to make it something that you could just immediately forgive or get over. But yeah, if the person took the appropriate amount of accountability, if they let me know that they understood how this is fucked up, how this could make a person feel fucked up, maybe after further communication, after time, space, we could get to a place where I've fully forgiven them and accepted they're sorry. But yeah, if it's just I said I'm sorry, you really still on that shit?
Let me break this down in two ways then. And she want let's say somebody stole from me. And I know normally that's not the person that does that. Now I can say, I can forgive you for doing that act of stealing from me. But the second part is that doesn't mean I have to be around you. I can still leave you and not be around and forgive you. I can never talk to you again in the rest of my life and still forgive you, because also, I'm pretty sure you guys have heard that a lot of times. Forgiveness is not all just about for the other person. It's also for yourself, letting that thing go so it doesn't have a hold on you for the rest of your life. So I can forgive you and I can forgive the act, but I can also keep my distance away from you too. If she cheats or whatever, or flirts or whatever, I can forgive you later on. There's nothing said you have to forgive the person right then and there. It's probably the most healthy thing to do, maybe.
If
but
you truly don't, you can't force yourself to.
Right. And if she does that does cheat on you, whatever, and here's what can happen if you stay in the relationship with those feelings bottled up, you're never going to be able to have a rational conversation ever again, because that's always going to be in the back of your mind. It don't even have to be a conversation about cheating. It could be a conversation about being late on the mortgage. That's going to be in the back of your mind. And that's going to influence how you talk to that person or how you view that person. So it's not that you have to forgive the person and stay with them. You could forgive them later on and never talk to them ever again. You don't have to stay in the situation where someone's done you wrong. So let me also say that too. You don't have to stay in a situation where you forgive somebody. You can leave it altogether and let it go. Or if you think it's worth it, if you think they're accountable enough, if you have faith enough that they'll make the changes necessary for you to trust them again, then you can stay with them. But if you don't think it's worth it, or you don't think you have the time, or you think you deserve better, you can leave. But you can still forgive them eventually. The timetable is on you. It's not on them. That's the important thing. It's not on them when you forgive them. It's on you when you're ready to forgive them. And that's your timetable.
I think that's what that's what it is too. A lot of people, after they cause the offense, they want the person to get over it on their time.
Quick, yes.
Which
It's like just get over it.
Right. Haven't I done enough? You don't get to decide that.
Yeah, it's like now I feel like you think that anytime you do something, you have to do a certain amount of things to get the fuck to get back in my good graces. Like, no, that's not how it works. Like that's fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. Fool me 3 times, can't fool me again, or whatever the fuck George Bush.
Okay. All right. Let's move on to our last story for the night. Let's see. What was the last story we got? Oh, about men shouldn't like women more than they like them in return. Okay. I got a video on this. Explains it a little bit more. Let's see. Where are we at?
That just sounds sad.
Okay. Here we go.
This message is solely for men. Okay? Men should not be with a woman that they like more. Women are supposed to like their man more. And of course, I already know y'all gonna be like, River, what you talking about? No, because I need my man to be sweating over me. No, you don't. Because women have a tendency that when they have a man in the palm of their hand, they don't know what to do with that. They don't know what to do with the quote unquote power. They don't know what to do with those feelings. And what they end up doing is treating him bad, disregarding him, because they can have him at their every whim. They start to kind of like disregard him, disrespect him. Okay? You see, men know how to marginalize things. Men are very intelligent. They know how to be like, okay, you know, well, she likes me more, but guess what? She might not have been my first choice, but it doesn't mean that that's going to stop me from marrying her. It doesn't mean that's going to stop me from staying with her and being with her, because you know what? I prioritize my respect more than anything, and she meets me there. She doesn't stress me out. She's peaceful. She's calm. She's kind. She's attractive. I may have been interested in this person, but guess what? I'm going to take this person because I can trust them with me. Women, on the other hand,
okay, that's the end of that video.
Women.
Okay, this is, I'm gonna say what I gathered from this video, or at least part of it anyway, where she's saying men should not be with a woman they like more. For what I gathered from it, and y'all can say spit your opinion on this after I finished, is from what I have seen, women that have dealt with, and there's a word for it, I'm gonna say simps. Guys that seem to kowtow to everything their woman says, waiting on them hand and foot. They don't seem to speak up about anything, and they don't seem to wear the pants. They don't seem, nothing about them has any alpha in whatsoever. Beta males is another way some people call it. They tend to run over them, and not all women, but some women end up wanting to go for the bad boy, or the one that a little bit more dangerous and willing to put more risk out there. And that's the one they secretly really want, instead of the ones they actually can run over and dominate and do whatever they want with them. They don't seem to have a voice at all. That seems to be the woman that, let's see, she said, men should not be with a woman they like more. That seems to be the guys that tend to like their women more than vice versa. They tend to be, like I said, they head over heels in love with the women. They'll do anything for them. They won't say no to anything. They don't know what no is in their vocabulary when they're dealing with their woman. And so I guess from what I'm gathering, that's what she's saying, that a man should not be with a woman that they like more like that, versus a woman liking her man like that wants, I don't know, alpha male or sigma male, whatever. That's why I gather from it. And I'll let you guys speak on it. If you think differently than what she's saying, medicate it. If you agree with what she's saying, leave it. If you think differently than what she spouted in this video, medicate it and tell us what you think is wrong with it. Okay. LT, I'll let you start on it. And first, you want to leave it or medicate it?
I'm gonna medicate it.
All right, he's gonna medicate it. Tell us why.
Ready? Go!
She sounds a little stupid. Or because does her boyfriend not like her as much as she likes him? Like, is that the kind of situation she's in? Like, I love my man, he liked me a little bit, but one day, you know what I'm saying? Is that what she's telling other women to be on? Why can't we just like each other the same amount? Like, how come equality don't ever come into the equation? How come it either has to be you need to be with a woman that likes you more, or women need to be with a man that like? How come we can't like each other the same amount? How come we can't be equal to I really don't even know how to stretch it into 2 minutes. She sounds dumb and stupid and ridiculous. But I mean, yeah, because all these people that give relationship advice, it just makes you want to look into their relationship. And what's your angle? Like, what do you truly hope to get? You as a young woman telling men, like, who is her target audience? Like, who is she trying to get with this message? Like, I truly don't get it. Like, it's kind of like she's reverse Kevin Samuels. She's doing a weird thing. She's pretty much pandering to men that want to be told. I'm not even gonna lie. I appreciated being told that I'm intelligent as a man. That was nice to hear. But I feel like I was supposed to feel that way. I feel like she wanted me to agree with her and be like, yeah, you know what? I am fucking intelligent. And you know what? Bitches need to like me more. Like, I feel like that's what she wanted me to say. And no, I just think that's dumb. Like, you need to go into a relationship on equal footing. Liking the person is, we always want to be with people that don't, or that like us more than we like them. Why do we want followers? Why do we want worshipers? Why do we want people we can manipulate and can control? Like, that's coming from a place of low self-esteem and low worth for yourself. You want someone that doesn't have as much worth for themselves, but they value you a little bit more. And she's just willing to be the woman in that position, which is weird. She weird.
All right, she weird. All right. Okay, Sparky. First, you want to leave it or medicate it? You agree with what she had to say, or you want? Okay, you disagree with what she said. You want to medicate it? Tell us why.
Are you ready? Go!
Boy, Lord Trent took right what I was thinking out my mouth when he said she sounded damn stupid. But the thing of it is, like, we should be able to just like each other. It doesn't have to be the man has to like the woman less or the woman has to like the man more. In the situation, we should all be striving to, like each other and then eventually grow to love each other if that's what you want to do. Be grateful for the person that you have and don't take them for granted. A lot of times that's what people do. They start to take a person for granted. But then the other thing that she was saying about being married and him saying, well, I'm gonna be with this one instead, it's almost like she was saying it's okay for you to be second best, or you want to be second best because the first woman's gonna be too much for him, so he's just gonna drop back and marry the other woman, kind of like the consolation prize. That who wants to be in that type situation? Nobody wants to feel like you're running after him. And if you have a woman that loves the man more or likes the man more, it's gonna seem like she running after him. The man is supposed to pursue the woman. The woman's not supposed to pursue the man. The Bible says the man that finds the wife finds a good thing, not the woman that finds a husband. So you know what I'm saying? He's supposed to be coming more aggressively, or pursuing her, courting her. She's not supposed to be doing that to him. And if she has more feelings than him, then it's going to be coming off in the way that she's pursuing him. She's going to be acting crazy over him. She's going to be the one in the bushes, checking phones and all that other crazy shit. When, he's supposed to be pursuing her. She's going to be getting herself out of position to even have him long term as a husband. You're not going to be lined up in where you're supposed to be when the blessing's supposed to fall. Because y'all didn't do it in the right order. So that is definitely not right.
All right. She didn't get the boom up here. All right. All right. Preezy, you want to leave it or medicate it?
Medicate it.
Don't medicate. Tell us why.
Are you ready? Go!
I agree with Lord Trent and Sparky T, because I don't believe in a person this person liking this person more, vice versa. But I used to hear before, somebody used to say, in a relationship, there's always one person that likes the person more or loves the person more. It's never even, which I think is silly. But I think when you're in a relationship, everything should be even. You know, it shouldn't be this person liked you more, this person loved you more. So I don't. What she was saying was just ignorant. Maybe that's what she dealt with. You know, maybe the guys that she was dealing with, she liked them more. So she probably feel that that's the right way. But I think that when your relationship, you know, it should be an even thing. I don't want to be dealing with somebody and I like them more than they like me. So that means the treatment is gonna be different. You know, so no, it's you need a drink. Something ain't right. Man, that's what I'm saying. It could be her past experience. Maybe that's what she went through. And you know, when people are going through these relationships and they getting the same type of people, that's what they start believing in. Like the way they treated, you know, and we know you know it's wrong, but then you start believing that this is how it's supposed to be. So she could be going through that. So now she's trying to tell her sisters out here what it should be. And that's wrong. I think you should like the person the same way they like you. It's all about communication. Because if I find out that I'm liking you more than you liking me, then you're not for me. So go on, set that bomb off.
Light
set
it up.
Off you gotta set it off twice because Sparky didn't get up. Stop playing.
Set it off.
All right. I'm a medicated. Let's see. Here we
Are
go.
you ready? Go!
I'm a medicated. I think I understand, like I said, what she was trying to say. The thing I disagree with is it being different from both. You know, one should like one over the other. Because that's going to be a dynamic change within the relationship that's not going to work, I don't think, long term. Of course, we've heard the phrase, power tends to corrupt, absolute power corrupts absolutely. And I think that's exactly what would happen if either the man or the woman finds out that one likes him or her over the other. Then they're going to probably use that to their advantage. You know, as I was saying, you know, earlier, if a woman knows that, you know, he loves her way more than she loves him, then she's probably going to take that to her advantage and use him to do things that he probably normally wouldn't do. And the same thing if a man finds out a woman likes him more than he likes or loves her, he's going to use that to his advantage. And he's going to do things that she normally shouldn't take, like flirt and get LOL emojis and stuff and DMs, whatever. Or go cheat on her, mess around with other people, stretch her bank account, use her money up, not use his, because he knows that she ain't going nowhere because she loves him way more than he loves her. So I don't agree with her saying, you know, a guy should find a woman that likes him more than the other way around, because that's typically what's going to end up happening. Someone's going to get used and abused because they know they have the power of the power dynamic within a relationship. So no, I don't agree with that at all.
Nah, set that bomb off. Set that bomb off.
Oh, hold on. Wait, I'll put it up here. All right. There we go.
Fire.
Y'all having too much fun with this.
Fire.
Yeah. All right. What else, y'all have anything else to say about this?
Yeah, that's just that's just because it's almost, because you know what, she started the video by saying men pay attention, like you should, like I don't get why. Yeah, you're speaking from a place of hurt and trauma if you truly feel like you need to be in a relationship where that's just weird to want to be for her as a woman. I'm kind of baffled to hear her want to say that. I don't want him to like me as much as I like him. That almost like shit. You're requesting for someone to not love you all the way. Ew. That shit is gross. Like I feel like she just tongue kissed me in the most negative way. I don't like that. I don't like that shit.
All right. Is that everybody good? So,
Because what if you have a daughter? She not like is she gonna tell her daughter, make sure the man you marry, you love him more. Ew. Ugh, I hope she's not procreating. Oh my god, so many people don't need to procreate. What's the next thing?
oh, that was the last thing. We're gonna go into
Oh,
the
that was a
deepest
deep
thought.
thought. Oh,
That's the last thing for today. I'm gonna remove this off the screen. All right, so last part of the show, the deepest thought. Just take a look and meditate on it. This is kind of a celebration of Easter. I don't know if anybody celebrated Easter and put on some colorful suits or anything, but
because that's a pagan holiday that the Romans created to take away from Yeshua.
well, this may be
Well, actually, not even that. Estar. Look into that on your own. Estar.
This may be some pagan stuff right here. Then what you're about to see.
Oh, the clan. Oh my nut. Yeah. Crack these eggs.
Oh my God! It's a bunny's got chopped.
The A-Town stomping? Oh, shit. Prodigal son has returned.
Whoa, that was awesome. It's not done yet. Whoa.
This motherfucker look actually hurt. White people are so violent. They're so violent and they're so aggressive. Like, first, the fuck was that?
I don't know. I told you it may be some pagan shit, man. I mean, it's rabbit wrestling somebody on Easter, killing people almost.
Easter not even in the Bible. That's what's crazy about it. But I did see Jesus. I did see a big ass Jesus poster on the background in there. So it probably was they probably had a church wrestling match.
Maybe that was Jesus' revenge for taking away his time. And rabbit ain't got nothing to do with Easter, or shouldn't have anything to do with Easter, or period. But maybe that's his revenge. Maybe he sponsored that match.
Comes from
maybe he was there at the match. Maybe that was his return.
He need to come back.
That could have been some of the 12 disciples there. Maybe that
didn't he have an army of angels? Like this nigga got one bunny rabbit in the ring with him. It's like you if you coming back to fight Satan, you need more than Bugs Bunny on your team. You're not playing Satan in a game of basketball. That's the only time you should ever enlist a bunny to help you. If you're trying to beat an alien team in a game of basketball.
Not LeBron James and Michael Jordan.
Nope, Bugs Bunny.
Oh, in Space Jam.
Yeah.
Don't get real basketball players. Go to Looney Tune Land and get Bugs Bunny and the Looney Tunes.
All right. That will be the wrap of the show on that one. Okay. So thank everybody for coming on the show and getting some hostile therapy. LT.
All right.
Pleasure once again. Sparky T.
Hey, it's your girl Sparky T.
And Preezy. Thanks for coming on the show again.
Hey. Thanks for having me.
And I'd like to thank the audience for coming in on Get Some Hostile Therapy, not because you want it, but because you need it. And we won't be back next week. We've got a week off next Thursday, but after that,
we'll be back. Y'all remember that. We be in the chat every Thursday. Yo, are we going on tonight? What the fuck?
You know, it usually be me and you in there like,
be like, is Red dead? What's going on with Red?
Hey, he good, right?
Like, no, I'm not dead. I just took a week off. I'll be back.
All right, y'all.
Well, guys, we'll see y'all on the next episode of Hostile Therapy. Y'all have a good night.
All right. Good night.
Peace.
Wrong thing.